to stand up strong, face the truth about themselves, to understand what went wrong. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way to stand up, stand up, stand up.
Uniting the races with truth instead of dividing them with lies. We're also rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. I'm Jesse Lee Peterson. Good morning. Welcome to the show. Hi, y'all. I hope you all had an amazing weekend. These weekends, these days go by like 90 going north. It's amazing. You can get involved by calling 888-7753, 773-888-77-JESSE, Jesse, Jesse. I don't have a new biblical question yet, but we dealt with last week's biblical question somewhat. We didn't complete it because I turned it into an assignment last week. Do you have morals and values? If so, where did you find them? And so instead of closing that out, I asked them to, the congregation and people who watch it online, to do their homework and let the values go. Let all their morals and values go, and I want to see the result or hear the result on Sunday, this coming Sunday, if the Lord is willing and the creek don't rise. It's just another way of encouraging you to work on yourself. You got to work on you, and as you're working on you, you're going to be surprised at what you're going to find. The one thing I promise you, you don't know yourself. It's amazing how we can live a life not knowing ourselves. The stuff we think we know is not us, and it drives us insane, but yet we think it's us. But anyway, that's the deal. We have every way that you can watch and support the show listed on JesseLeePeterson.com/show, JesseLeePeterson.com/show. And if y'all busy out there and you're not able to sit and watch the show live, of course you can podcast, but you can also be listening while you're doing whatever it is that you're doing. Hating yourself, hating your neighbor, blaming others for your issues, trying to get revenge, trying to find happiness, loving your misery, whatever it is. There are people that love their misery. They love their hell. And they roam the earth in their families and everywhere to try and brainstorm others into their hell. You can be listening to the show on your iPhone, iPad by calling 641-793-1500. 641-793-1500. Follow us on social media. JLP Talk on X and Instagram. Y'all know what to do. Like, ring the bell. Also, to donate and have your comments read out loud, and we're going to get to some of them from this weekend. Go to Buy Me a Coffee at JLP Talk, buymeacoffee.com at JLP Talk, or rebuildingthemand.com, rebuildingthemand.com. So, for those who are buymeacoffee.com/JLP Talk. What the? Buy Me a Coffee Facebook.com/JLP Talk. Well, E-Black, it's Monday. And for those who might be tuning in for the very first time, let me see what this show is about. Every Monday is Female Monday. It's when we take all calls and we deal with whatever issues, right? But we deal with the female calls first because the females need help as well, real help. And there are a lot of females who listen to the show, attend our fellowship I counsel with on a daily basis, and they want help too. And they are starting to find it once they understand how to overcome. So Monday is Female Monday.
I like to make men uncomfortable.
All my life I had to fight.
Let women take over.
Some of us believe that women are getting paid less than men.
I proudly say I'm a feminist. Thank you.
Deep in their soul, they want to be home with those babies. We've been lied to for so long.
Amazing. They want help. They do. But no one really knows how to point them back to the Father. And all females, whether they realize it or not, whether they want it or not, all females are yearning for their fathers. They're yearning for a father's love. That's what they want. That's why they act the way they act, dress the way they dress, angry, controlling, out of control, because they're yearning for the Father. And you rarely hear anyone talk about it or can tell them how to get back to the Father. So it is, we're going to get to your calls here in a minute, but I want to catch up with the Super Chat from the weekend and everything. Super.
Morning.
Morning.
Lin Chin on Streamlabs. Please explain to Jesse how nothing alone can create nothing, as nothing extracts everything from within itself or non-being. Nothing is God, quote unquote, and it alone creates. All else emulates, and the womb is no exception, for it only generates faulty replica of old code.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lin Chin.
Appreciate it.
The Flo and the Mo bought 3 coffees. Are we all born sinners, or do we fall into sin from our parents being imperfect? An infant isn't a sinner, right? They become sinful because the parents make them in their image?
When you say right, that's leading.
Right.
But unless the mother is angry during pregnancy, and a lot of them are, they can affect the child inside the womb because anger is evil. There's no love in it. But for the most part, kids are born innocent. And once they come through the mother and the mother is out of control, she corrupts the children by turning them away from innocence to evil because her nature is evil. Amazing. Thank you.
Hannes O'Callahan bought 3 coffees. It's strange. I, too, did not do the assignment of watch if you have heroes. Or I gave it little thought, concluded I have none, then promptly forgot about it all. Stranger still that it seems everyone else did the same thing, like the devil did not want anyone to think about it.
That's right. The last thing, I'm telling you the truth. The last thing the spirit of evil wants is for you to be aware. It doesn't want you to be conscious. It doesn't want you to maintain the mind of truth, the mind of God. Amazing. Thank you.
Hannes O'Callahan follows up. I thought about it some more. I could not conclude that I do have heroes that I look up to. However, the only quote-unquote hero, perhaps, is this idealized false self-image in my head. attached with so much emotion of dissatisfaction and disappointment. I am not this perfect person. Perhaps the act of looking up to a false identity is hero worship, and a false idol at that. Shrug emoji.
Thank you. Eventually, we're going to deal with that again in a meeting. We haven't really gone into the depths of it yet because time passed and we moved on to something else. But I appreciate you reminding me and take a look at yourself. It's amazing. Stay with it. Thank you.
2 coffees from Greenwall. The president of El Salvador got rid of all the gangs in his country, and he offered to do the same in Haiti. But the Democrats want another demographic crisis in the United States, so they're sending the Haitians here instead.
I tremble at what's to come in America as a result of all these illegal aliens coming in. They're bringing in illegal alien diseases. I know several people around the country who have been sick or sick with an unknown sickness, unfamiliar. And I guarantee you the illegal alien are bringing in things that we have forgotten about and then new stuff that we're not aware of. And it's just going to get worse. Not just that, but other things as well. We got to shut the borders down. Amazing. Thank you.
It's interesting, the information. Thank you, Greenwall.
Yeah.
Evgeny Crosby with a diamond. Church with Jesse Lee Peterson in one word. Amazing.
Amazing. If you missed it yesterday, you were not there, or you didn't watch it online, you can podcast rebuildingtheman.com/church. rebuildingtheman.com/church. Thank you.
3 coffees from Jitsu James. Jitsu James, answer to the biblical question from last week. I do have morals and values. I have gotten them from mentors and the environment of my upbringing. I don't know if they're from God, but I do know they are applicable to function in the society I live in. I only have to have faith that they are that of good and not evil.
Amazing. Thank you. Are you going to let your morals go this week?
I'll try. I'm not quite sure what it means to let them go. But it's interesting, for sure.
Amazing. That's the assignment for this week. Let all your morals and values go. Let them go. Amazing. Thank you.
Tammy Jackson bought a coffee. You have opened my eyes. Thank you. Red heart emoji.
Thank you, Tammy Jackson. Stay with it. Stay with it. Stay with it. Really. It's going to, sometimes I shake my head as I'm able to see and see and see and see more. I'm like, wow, what the? I once was blind, but now I see. Amazing. Stay with it, Tammy. Okay.
No more thoughts, coffee. I listened to church and a question came to my mind. Why is it that we escape into our imagination when we become angry? The way you describe it makes me think of some kind of way for the light in us to be covered. How can this be allowed?
So they want to know.
He was asking why we escape into our imagination when we become angry.
Right, because anger turns you away from the light, from the Father. And it happens when you're helpless to the mother and the Father's not there to protect you.
Nice.
Thank you.
Chalice donated a couple of Cash App donations.
Thank you, Chalice.
So Callus with a Cash App. Driving for Uber.
Thank you.
Driving for Uber in D.C. is like driving for Satan? ?
I don't know. I don't drive and never driven for Uber, so I don't know. Amazing. But I do know there are passengers who get into your car and they'll put their feet on your seat. And then the driver want to tell them to take them down. Some drivers do, but others are afraid to. Amazing.
Popcorn's Thump Keg Coffee. Jesse, my grandparents went to a small church in the South. I'm sure you're familiar. Wood pews, no piano, no air conditioning. Just people gathering together with foot stomping, clapping, singing, preaching, and praying. I remember when I was younger. Why do you say people who pray out loud, yours and your grandparents' generation, were praying to the devil? I would say our grandparents' generation, that old-style church singing and praying, knew God, and they prayed out loud.
Give me that old-time religion. Give me that old-time religion. is good enough for me. That's all they knew at the time. Amazing. Thank you.
Evgeny Crosby with a diamond. No biblical question yet. What up, beta?
But I'll get one. I can't make them come. And then sometimes I get them from when I hear other people say stuff or say things, or I read something, or sometimes they just come. So far, none of that has happened. But thank you.
Gen C, 5 coffees. Good morning, JLP universe. The homework assignment this week is tough. Me, nor my not me, wouldn't even know how to begin to drop all morals and values, but we'll contemplate this all week until next week's fellowship. Emoji.
Right on. What an assignment, don't you think?
Yeah.
How's someone going to tell you to drop your value? What are you going to do there?
Sounds like an easy assignment.
But yet you feel nervous about doing it. What a mess.
Yeah. And thank you, guys. That's all for now.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Before I go to the call, it's Female Monday, by the way. Ladies, you can call in as well. 888-7753-773. 888-77, Jesse. We're taking all calls. Lots of folks are not getting married today. And can you blame them? The men have been taught to be weak. And the ladies have been taught not to obey the man. A marriage can't work. And a man doesn't want to marry a woman that's not going to obey. Women, in their mind, and not all, but most, are in competition with men, trying to be men. It's never going to work, but they've been trained to be that way. So don't expect too many marriages from now on. And if they should happen, for the most part, unless the man and the woman are already working on themselves, expect the marriage not to last. Just know it's not going to last. Unless the two of them are already working on themselves. According to the Pew Research, the share of adults ages 25 to 54 who are currently married fell from 67% in 1990 to 53% in 2019. Isn't that amazing? It fell between 25 and to 54 who are currently married fell from 67% in 1990 to 53% in 2019. Somebody don't want that family thing to be. Watch this compilation. You start out on your knees. How do you expect the marriage to last? You're already bowing down and worshiping the woman. Why do you have to get on your knees to propose? That doesn't even make any sense at all. It just tells the woman that she has authority over you. And you're going to be licking boots for as long as you're with her. I don't know who came up with that idea of getting on your knees to propose. It was a big mistake. It's just another way of weakening the man or men. And the marriage don't last. They fight for the rest of the marriage until they separate. Isn't that amazing? Just look at it. The men look weak getting on their knees. I remember I saw Tim Scott, the congressman from South Carolina, North Carolina, one of those liners. And here he is, a mama's boy all the way, right? getting on his knees at the beach, proposing to the woman, and filmed it. No shame about getting on his knees and being weak. And he wanted to be the president. I knew that wasn't going to work. What a mess. I never knew you were supposed to kneel to propose. It was pushed as tradition to do by the time I was a kid. What the? That hasn't always been. In the good old days, men did not get on their knees to propose. They just said, you want to get married? Well, let's get married. All right. Not on their knees. Things are really, really changed. And every change has weakened a man. Look what we have today. Women hating men, men hating women, and the country falling apart. Men acting and treating men and women like women. This is not a good tradition. I would suggest you not do it, but do what you want. But you're telling a woman that she is in control of you. Please marry me. You're supposed to bring this woman into your world. You should not go into her world on your knees. I remember in the good old days when men did not wear wedding rings. They just gave it to the woman so that the world can know that the woman is in his world now, belongs to him. But now the women have made men start wearing wedding rings. They have literally made you put on a wedding ring by saying, well, I have to wear one. Why don't you have to wear one?
What the?
You just don't want the woman to know you're married so you can cheat. No, I don't. No, I don't. Then put on a ring. Then turn her, and okay. And she still thinks you cheat. Isn't that amazing? That is mind-blowing. And it's another way for businesses to make money. That's what it is. It's nice. It's another way for commercial way to make money. Now you're making money off the man and the woman. Stupid man has on a wedding ring. According to Estate Diamond Jewelry, most people believe you should spend at least 2 months' salary on your engagement ring. If, for an example, you are making $60,000 per year, you should spend $10,000 on the engagement ring. Who made that decision for you? How can someone tell you, first of all, that the man should wear a wedding ring, but secondly, how much money to spend on it? You better be trying to take back your life. It's all about the money. It's all about the money. I want you to see this from the wedding chaplain. The wedding chaplain. A ritual that is gaining more and more popularity in wedding ceremonies is called foot washing. Watch this. That Hake. Had you seen that?
I had never seen that before.
What do you think about it?
That's vulgar. To me, it's vulgar. It's Christian-y Christian.
What?
It's like the trendy Christian thing, I gather, by the looks of it.
to wash their feet?
By looking at these people, because it's young people doing it, young, black, white, even Asian
Right.
men and women doing it, and hipster pastors with their big old beards.
How's it Christian though? I've never seen Christians do that.
I've never seen it either, but that's why I'm saying it's trendy Christian, because they're introducing this, because Jesus washed various of his disciples' feet.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess it's kind of like sort of symbolic.
But Jesus didn't wash no feet before he got married.
Right. He didn't get married, I don't think.
That woman had to clean those nasty feet before she came to the wedding. Went to the wedding.
Yeah.
What the? So everybody want to be like Jesus.
It reminds me of that CEO of Chick-fil-A, the supposedly Christian restaurant.
Yeah.
Washing the supposedly Christian rappers, shining his shoes or something like that. It's like this fake humility. It's like a one of those rituals where you're supposed to humiliate yourself. That I've heard that people do that. People humiliate themselves, and that's what they're doing to men now.
Well,
and whites.
I think I have the answer to the question I'm about to ask. But how were they able to convince the men you got to wash this woman nasty feet at the wedding?
It's woman worship, looks like to me.
And she up there just loving it, knowing that she's got a beta, she's about to control.
Makes me want to spit.
That is crazy.
Into my spittoon, not into the studio.
Right. Are there dead bodies, burned dead bodies in there too?
Oh yeah, this is my urn.
But that is insane.
Yeah.
No wonder Christianity has been taken away. It's so weak now and pathetic. That is for those who didn't see it, they showed these men getting married, and at the wedding, they were washing the feet of the female. And it's supposed to be like Jesus. Poor Jesus. According to David Bridle, the reason some Christian couples decide to do this is because it is a symbol of being humble and willing to serve one another, since that is what Jesus did for the disciple. That is sick. The devil is busy. The devil has deceived you. And you're one step away from licking boots. That's amazing. So, hey, when you get married, you're going to wash feet?
Hopefully not. I can't say I would never do that, but make sure you slap me upside the head if I do something like that. What the? Advance permission.
What a mess. Pew Research is showing, man, you're not supposed to do that. There's some things you just say no to. If they don't like it, then okay, don't get married. Just say no to some things. There's some things you can say no to, and that's one of them. Bowing down, you could say no to that, to ask to marry you. And washing feet, that's a no-no. Amazing. When I come back, your phone calls. 888-7753. 773-888-77. Just do you believe me now when I say my country is not coming back? They're just weakening and weakening and weakening the man. No way for it to come back. Let me take a quick break. When I come back, your phone calls. Back in a moment. I recommend you get a copy of my book, From Rage to Responsibility. I write about how the spirit of anger was taken away from me 29 years ago. I forgave my mother who tried to turn me away from my father, and I returned to my father, and through him, my father on earth, and through him, I was able to return to God. No man or woman can return to God unless you go through the Son. And men are sons of God. There may be weak, pathetic examples of it, but it's the spiritual order of life. God in Christ, Christ in man, man over woman, and woman over children. So get from race to responsibility. I write about that. Go to my website, rebuildingtheman.com, for an autographed copy, or call 800-411-BOND. And donate to my nonprofit, Bond, the Brotherhood Organization of a New Destiny. We are rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. Okay, welcome back. 888-7753-773. There is a line over there if you want to take it. I want to go to Aisha out of Connecticut. Aisha, welcome to the show. You're on the air. Aisha?
Yes.
You're on the air. Welcome to the show.
Hi, good morning, Jesse. How are you?
All is well.
I have a question about being possessed.
Uh-huh.
I heard you talk about that on one of your Sunday services, and I wanted to ask you, when you say you're possessed, does that mean like when we're born, we're automatically, we have the spirit of, let's say, the devil in us? Because like when you say our thoughts are not our own, where do those thoughts come from?
Well, it's not necessary when you're born and after you're born and your mother traumatized you by impose her will or pretend to be nice or angry and turning you away from your father. And the moment you become angry, you turn away from the innocent. You turn away from the light of God into the darkness of the Satan, into the imagination. And all thoughts except for practical thoughts, all thoughts are evil. You're possessed in the mind and emotions. Anyone that believes and lives by the imagination, live by thoughts, are possessed with spirits of evil and they don't realize it.
Okay, so you're saying once we were traumatized, that's when we became possessed.
Yes.
But when we're born, we're innocent.
Right.
Unless
the mother was really angry during pregnancy, she hated the father, she hated being pregnant, and that spirit of evil can enter into the child before it comes through the womb, because it's really, really dark and wicked, and it can corrupt the innocence of a child even in the womb.
Amazing. So you're saying the spirits come from the anger of the mother?
Yes.
And then it possesses the child?
Yes.
And until you overcome that anger, you will always be possessed.
100%.
And to overcome the anger, you forgive your mother for possessing you?
Absolutely. Because, go ahead.
No, you go.
Because she doesn't, some mothers know what they're doing and they love their evil, so they do it gladly, but most mothers don't know what they're doing. They can't see.
And then another question. And then once you have forgiven, because that's where I'm at. I've listened to your show for about 3 years, and you've taught me a lot. And once you have forgiven, right?
Yes.
And thoughts, because I know you said it's not like a magical pill that'll go away because the devil's always trying to tempt you. But because you still have those thoughts, correct?
Yes.
Even though you're over the anger, they still come because it's always a temptation. Is the best thing, I know you say the silent prayer, but if you just watch them, right, and don't respond, they can go away.
100%.
But they always will still attack.
Well, once you forgive, the light comes on. You're born again of the Spirit of the Father. Once you forgive, and in that light, you can now see the darkness of your imagination. You can see the thoughts.
You can see it. You're aware of it.
And all you have to do at that point is practice catching those thoughts. Don't communicate with them. Don't argue with them. Just catch them. And then you're going to really start seeing layers and layers of thoughts that you have built up.
They go deep.
They go deep by overreacting in life. Anytime you overreact to any situation, you give life to evil, and you're just building another false identity. But when you don't overreact and just see it, then you overcome it. It will depart. Satan and all his little demons will eventually have to depart from you.
You mean for good, and you won't have those thoughts?
100%. You will have a clear mind, and you will be living by wisdom and not by thoughts. That's why God said, bring every thought into captivity. Your thoughts are not his thoughts, and his thoughts are not your thoughts. They're not even your own thoughts. So you should not believe any thoughts about anything.
Right.
And eventually you start catching them really fast because they'll become weaker and weaker and weaker, and you'll find yourself catching them fast before you even feel anything. And once you catch them, that thought is gone. It's over.
Right, right. Do you believe to be aware is to be alive?
100%.
Yep.
All unaware people are dead and they don't know it. Yeah. They're walking dead. Their eyes are open, but they cannot see. So you just let the dead bury the dead.
Can I ask you one more question? I appreciate that, Jesse. Thank you so much for explaining that.
You're
I have
welcome.
a better understanding. Can I just ask you one more question before I go?
Yes.
Okay. So because this is a spiritual battle, and we know that this is spiritual, how come you celebrate Halloween?
How come I celebrate Halloween? That's a fun thing. I don't do it as much now as an adult, but as a kid, if you're aware of what's going on, you can celebrate Halloween just as a fun thing. But the Christians will tell you that, oh, you worship the devil. And then if you're into your imagination, you would believe that. But you're not. It's just a fun thing. It has no meaning other than that. And it's primarily for children.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Jesse. I really appreciate you taking my call, and you have a good day, okay?
You too. Amazing
All
questions.
Right.
Stay with it.
Amazing answer.
Stay with it. Stay with it. Stay with it.
I will. You have really helped me a lot, and I really appreciate what you're doing.
You're welcome.
Keep it up, Jesse.
I will. Thank you.
Okay. Take care.
All right. Bye now. Amazing. Let me go to Larry out of Indiana. There's one line open, 888-77-53773. Larry out of Indiana. Larry, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hey, Jesse, can you hear me well?
Loud and clear.
Hey, I talked to you a little while ago about my girlfriend. She was living with me, and, a whole bunch of BS. And
18-year-old Larry?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And you told me I needed to get her out of my life, and I could see that I needed to get her out, but when you told me at that moment, I couldn't see that I needed to kick her out and I needed to get her away and all that. So I actually let her stay. She came back. I even bought her a ring.
A what?
I bought her a ring.
What the?
I bought her a ring, and we had a long talk about it, literally nothing. I was thinking that she was getting better at XYZ, and we had a talk. So that was we went through 2 and 3 weeks, and I just let her go a couple of days ago. I let her get her things. I kicked her out. I did change the lock this time. I definitely changed the lock this time. And she's gone.
So you're 19 or 18?
I'm 18. I turned 19 this Friday.
This coming Friday?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. So the last time you called, she had said she was pregnant. Is that true?
Oh, yeah. She was pregnant. So she was pregnant. That's why I bought. She was pregnant. That's why I bought the ring. But she had a miscarriage.
Yeah, I bet she
I got
did.
on my knees.
I bet she. How do you know she had one for real?
She had the miscarriage, and then so she was bleeding like blood clots, like really bad because she had she was on birth control beforehand. So the blood clots. We had got an abortion before one time. This is when I was in Upon State, and it was just like that. So I waited. I let her stay around, and I was like waiting until the blood stopped. And then I had her take another pregnancy test after the blood clots went away, and then it came back negative. So that's how we know the miscarriage.
Somebody looking out for you.
Oh boy.
And so, what was it like when you bought the ring and let her stay? How was that?
It was like a fake feeling. I kind of could see it was a fake feeling, but I don't know. I just still did it. I just sat through it just to see what was going to happen. When you told me that she needed to go, I already knew that she needed to go, but I just couldn't see to do it.
Yeah.
So if I would have did it, I would have only did it because you told me to do it. So
Right.
I just sat through it.
Nice.
I said, whatever I need to do, it'll be revealed to me what I need to do. If I can't see right now, I'll be able to see later. And I was able to see that this girl is just pure hell. And she had to go.
Amazing. Absolutely. I like that you didn't see it for yourself at the point. You waited to see, because now that you waited to see, if you keep paying attention to yourself, you won't repeat the same thing over and over again. Most people repeat the same thing over and over again because they're in a prison of their imagination, and the devil tells them, oh, well, try it this way, try that, or this was going to work, and they don't really see what's going on. Amazing.
Yeah. And I gotta say, even before, 'cause I know a lot of callers say this, before I call, like the devil, he puts this feeling in my body of, I don't know if it's like fear, like butterflies, and I'm just sitting through it. And I'm just sitting and watching. I'm like, what? Why am I getting a feeling of like fear? I'm just about to talk to somebody on the phone. And I just sit through it.
Right on.
And I get that. I get that a lot. Like those feelings come, and I understand that I'm not my body and I'm not my feelings. So I just sit through it, and it passes, and I get through it.
Larry, that's amazing. Being 18, man, if you continue this and just stay with it no matter what happens, just watch, sit through hell. Be conscious of sitting through hell, because that's what you're doing. It is hell. Anger is hell. Emotions are hell, the so-called good ones and bad ones. If you just sit through them, eventually you'll be walking on water.
For sure.
You got to stay with it. Stay with it. And especially being so young, you are avoiding a whole lot of hell that the average person don't even see at the age of 90. You're avoiding a lot of trouble, man.
Yeah, I appreciate it. The number one thing that has really helped me throughout life is just being in the present. Like people, oh my God, being in the present is like, it's just unexplainable. It's unexplainable.
Right on. How did she react to you telling her this time she had to go for sure?
She kind of got like a fake thrill out of it. I just, like a fake thrill. I already knew you were going to kick me out. And I'm just like, okay. So I already was going to get the lock. So I didn't have to deal with her. I just went over to my dad's house. I said, I'm going to go over to my dad's house. I'm going to give you a day or two to get your things. If I come back in a day or two when your things are still there, I'm going to pack them up myself and get them out. So this time it just went a little bit smoother. She did everything, got her all the stuff out.
Right on.
And she tried to, we had this dog. Oh, my God. We had this dog, right? And I kept the dog because she was like, can you just keep it until I get me a place? And I was like, at first I'm like, no, I don't even care about the dog. But I'm like, okay, so I kept the dog, and the dog got sick, right? And the gums were real pale. So I knew the dog had parvo, so the dog was going to die. And she, long story short, this one day the dog, it just was acting really sick, and she had came over and she got it. And I'm just like, yeah, just take the dog because it's acting real sick. And if the dog is about to die, I'm going to just go throw it outside somewhere. I'm not going to keep it. And then she got all sad. So that was that. But later on in the day, she called my phone sobbing. I'm talking about sobbing. I couldn't believe it. She was crying so hard. I said, what's wrong? He said, my baby died.
Oh.
He said, I'm going to take her by some water. I said, well, why are you crying? He said, because you told me she was going to die. I said, she's died. Oh, my. But in that moment, it was a learning lesson because I understand because I was there before. I had a dog that died before. This is when I was in the final state, and the dog died, and oh my God, I was crying. But now I can see they're just animals. They're just animals.
Right.
That black man kissing his dog, I was like, what the?
Amazing. Oh God.
Oh, man.
I saw a report. I don't know how true it is now because I don't believe what I hear anymore. I saw a report where some woman, I think it was a woman, her dog was sleeping in the bed with her, and she was asleep, and she slept with her mouth open, and the dog went to the bathroom in her mouth, and now she's in the hospital.
Oh my! I don't even know. A lot of things you say about the old days, how things used to be.
Yeah.
I grew up the complete opposite way.
Amazing.
But it's just like these things are just common sense. They just come.
Yeah, absolutely.
But
man.
I also do remember though, we used to go to school, and every morning before we did anything, we used to say the Pledge of Allegiance. The flag guys, they go out, they raise the flag. We had two Pledge of Allegiance. We had a Pledge of Allegiance to the United States, and then we used to say this speech that Dr. Martin Luther King, some little dumb black speech. But we always said Pledge of Allegiance and raise. And I don't know, just somewhere around the line, they just stopped doing that. The flag boys stopped going outside.
Yeah.
And we stopped saying the Pledge of Allegiance, and I just thought it was normal.
Nope. I remember, and then I got to run, but I remember every morning from the first grade through the 12th, every morning, once everybody's in class, the whole school would stand and we would pray, and then we would pledge allegiance to the flag every morning.
Yeah.
The whole school would do it at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
All the way, and then the men got weak, and the women took God out of the schools. It's amazing. But Larry, stay with it, man. Stay with it. Stay with it. And you may have to stand alone because other people, your family members, would turn against you. But that's fine. They were never with you anyway. So, but stay with it, man.
Yes, sir. I got it. I appreciate it, Jesse.
All right. Stay with it. Amazing.
All right.
All right.
All right, buddy.
Bye now. Amazing. If we can get 5 more men to stand up like that, you can change the world. America will have a chance. America will have a chance. Let me go quickly to, there's a line open, 888-7753-773. Let me go quickly to Amy, a first-time caller out of Texas. Amy, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I was calling because I have a question. I've been listening. I just recently found your channels of Bond. I used to watch the other one, Fallen State, but I just recently started. I didn't even know there was that channel, and I've been learning a lot of things. And I have a question. It's in regards to my daughter. I want to know how to move forward, in what direction, and if I'm being controlling. So my daughter turned 18 a few months ago, and she just left the house last week. And I don't know what to do. Like, I've been trying to just give her space and trust God with the situation, but she's very close to graduating, and I really don't know what to do.
You mean she moved out?
Yeah, she just, I was taking a shower, and then next thing you know, she left. She had her luggage, done, and she left. I looked at the cameras, and yeah, she had, like, I don't know where she went.
And she's still in high school, you say?
Yes, she's a senior.
So did she leave because she was angry at you?
She's going through her own issues right now, and we did have a confrontation, which I do regret. So that just made it worse.
Yeah. So she's angry at you, and that's why she moved out?
I'm part of it. She's going through her own things, and I just made it worse for her.
So she's angry at you, and that's why she moved out?
Yes.
And where's her father? Her father doesn't live there?
No, he doesn't.
Oh, so does she see her father at all or talk to him?
No, he moved to a different state, and he's not really very involved in her life.
And why not?
He's just doing his life, living like a bachelor. That's what he's always just been doing. His own life.
Have you have you kept away from her father?
No, as a matter of fact, I'm the one that when he does come to Texas, I'm the one that finds a way for them to spend time together. And he always promises he will, but then he leaves again.
How do you feel about her father?
Nothing really. I mean, I already made peace with it. At first, I was kind of disappointed because I didn't think he would turn out this way. I thought he's the one that he wanted us to have a child, and I thought he was going to be the perfect father and stuff. And then seeing how he wasn't present really would hurt me at first, but I've already made peace with it.
And so how do you feel about her father?
Not angry. I just nothing anymore.
You were angry?
She's old already.
I'm sorry?
She's already old. When I was younger, I would feel hurt and upset and I guess angry at the same time. But now she's already 18 and I managed to deal with it. So now it's like it is what it is with him. I don't feel anger towards him. Maybe I'm disappointed, if anything, but I don't feel anger anymore.
Are you disappointed in her father or in you?
In both.
But why are you disappointed? I'm sorry?
It used to be in him and in me, but now it's more, if anything, in me.
And what are you disappointed in yourself about?
Making wrong choices.
Amy, can you hold? Let me take a break.
Yes.
And I'll come back to your call right after this break.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. 2 more hours to go. This hour's gone. When I come back, I'm coming straight to the callers. Hake is coming in with the hate news, not the fake news, but the hate news. And I'll be back in a moment. 2 more hours to go. I have books that are amazing. I highly recommend you get them. 7 Guaranteed Steps to Spiritual, Family, and Financial Success Guide. Even if you're not starting a business, but you have a job, or you're on welfare, it can help you if you do. Be doers of the word, all right? From rage to responsibility. From rage. That's what I write about in the first chapter, especially how I overcame scam. How the black leadership exploits black Americans. They're using them, and blacks are too willing to be used. And then my last book, The Antidote, Healing America from the Poison of Hate, Blame, and Victimhood. They are all amazing books, and they are helpful. Go to rebuildingtheman.com if you want an autographed copy, or call 800-411-2663.
Terrible Moscow terror attack by ISIS, according to reports, at least allegedly. And Kate Middleton, Princess Catherine, no longer Middleton, she's married, I guess, has cancer. This is the end of hour 1 of the Jesse Lee Peterson Show. It's Female Monday, March 25th, AD 2024. Stay tuned for hour 2. JLP will be right back for Female Monday. To your calls, there is one line open. You can call in right now during Hake News, not fake news. 888-77-JESSE, 1-888-775-3773. No I in Jesse. That Moscow terror attack, the far-left female-run outlet The Skim reports Russia is mourning after the deadliest terrorist attack that they have seen in 20 years. Or they were mourning yesterday anyway. I think it was a day of mourning on Sunday. Back on Friday, 4 so-called gunmen, I call them gun males because they're not men, stormed a Moscow concert hall and opened fire on a crowd of people before setting the venue on fire, killing at least 137 people and injuring more than 100 others. Russian authorities have since charged 4 men allegedly responsible for the attack with terrorism charges. The so-called Islamic State, better known as ISIS, that group, remember them? Claimed responsibility for the assault, saying it was part of their campaign against countries fighting Islam. U.S. officials said they believed an Afghan offshoot of the group known as ISIS-K, ISIS-K, is responsible. But Russian President Vladimir Putin attempted to link the terror attack, to Ukraine. In a televised public address on Saturday, Vladimir Putin alleged that the perpetrators were fleeing to Ukraine where a window was prepared for them. And that's a quote. He didn't mention ISIS at all in his remarks. Kiev, that's the capital of Ukraine, denied any involvement in the attack, although they have done attacks on Russia, in Russia. In an assessment U.S. officials have agreed with, experts say that Putin is likely trying to shift the narrative to bolster his war in Ukraine. sort of reminds me of Bush talking about going into Iraq after 9/11, as if Iraq had anything to do with it. Maybe. They also noted that the attack could put a dent in his ironclad image as a protector of Russian national security. Vladimir Putin, something Putin championed just a week ago after securing his 5th term as president. Not only were Russian officials unable to prevent the attack, but reportedly, the U.S. had also warned Russia that there was a potential imminent terrorist attack just days before the assault, which Putin had dismissed, thinking that it was maybe like a scare tactic. Now, Russia has also warned American so-called intelligence, before terror attacks, for example, of the Tsarnaev brothers. You guys remember that? The Boston Marathon bombers, who were Muslims from Serbia or somewhere. They bombed the Boston Marathon, and Russia had warned us about it, but the FBI ignored it. So now it's happening to Putin as well. France is also on high alert after the Moscow terror attack. France has suffered a whole lot of Muslim terror attacks in Nice, multiple ones in Paris, and elsewhere. Terrible. So Kate Middleton, according to Commie Nonsense Network, CNN, she's now Catherine, Princess of Wales. She has thanked the public, or at least Kensington Palace has thanked the public for their tremendous support over the weekend, so-called support, for Catherine, who is now the Princess of Wales. She got married to one of the princes. They announced that on Friday. She has cancer. She has cancer. She was born in 1982, younger than Hake. She's like 41-ish. The royal family is not expected, maybe 42, not expected to reveal any further medical details, such as the type of cancer or what stage it is. But people are embarrassed. There were people who were remorseful after spreading conspiracy theories and memes about supposedly photoshopped images that she had put out because she was trying to hide the fact that she was going through it. What a mess. I'll tell you about the weather. Storms coming in the Central Plains and Midwest. Winter weather alerts. I'll tell you that in the next hour. But for now, back to JLP.
Somewhere in the world today, men have got to stand up strong, face the truth about themselves, to understand what went wrong. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way to stand up. Stand up. Stand up.
Uniting the races with truth instead of dividing them with lies. We're also rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. I'm Jesse Lee Peterson. Welcome to the second hour of the show already. You can get involved by calling 888-7753-773. 888-77-JESSE. Jesse. Jesse. No biblical questions today. Hopefully tomorrow, we'll see. I did give an assignment in yesterday's fellowship. We were dealing with last week's question, do you have morals and values? If so, where did you find them? And it was interesting, the response I was getting. And so I instead of just ending it, I made an assignment because I want to encourage everyone to work on themselves, as I do all the time. And you will love, most of you will love working on yourself. Most people won't because they love their misery. They love their hell. They love living in their hell. And they love bringing other people into their hell, finding other devils to argue with. But so this week assignment for the fellowship, and anyone else that want to join it, drop your morals and values and see what happens. Amazing. We have every way that you can watch and support the show listed on JesseLeePeterson.com/show. JesseLeePeterson.com/show. And if you're out and about and you're working out, doing whatever you're doing, and you just don't have time to sit and watch the show anywhere in the world, because we're heard around the world by everybody and their mama. And if you're black, everybody and their mama. If you're white, everybody and their mama. You can be listening to the show while you're working out or doing whatever you're doing by calling the listen line at 641-793-1500. That's on 641-793-1500. Follow us on social media. Jesse Lee Peterson on Instagram and cozy.tv/JLP. Well, Christ is King. Also, to donate and have your comments read out loud, go to buymeacoffee.com/JLP Talk. Buymeacoffee.com/JLP Talk. Or Bond JLP on Cash App. All right? Bond JLP on Cash App. It's Monday. And we take all calls, but the lady calls us first on Mondays. Monday is Female Monday. All my life.
I like to make men uncomfortable.
All my life I had to fight.
Let women take over.
Some of us believe that women are getting paid less than men.
I proudly say I'm a feminist. Thank you.
What a mess.
Deep in their soul, they want to be home with those babies. We've been lied to for so long.
Yeah, what a mess. I want to go back to Amy, a first-time call out of Texas. And Amy's daughter, 18-year-old daughter, according to Amy, left home just without permission. She snuck away. And Amy looked at the camera and saw her leaving, and she's still in high school, last year of high school. Amy doesn't know what to do about it. Amy, are you still there?
Yes, I'm still here.
Did you let her father know she's gone?
Her father doesn't really care.
Did you let him know?
No, I don't have his number anymore.
Oh, I see. So is it legal for boys and girls to leave home at 18 in Texas?
Yes, they're considered adults.
Oh, it is. So are you able to reach her by cell phone?
Yes, and I've been trying to message her here and there, asking her to come back home. But I also don't want to be controlling by doing so I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do.
So here's what I recommend. So when you say you don't want to be controlling, did she say, okay, I'll come back, but you can't control me?
No, she just says she doesn't want to come back. And she asked me if I can give her her documents, like her birth certificate and her social security number, I guess, so she can sign up to a different high school that's closer to wherever she's at. And I kind of wanted to tell her, look, let's make a compromise. But I'm so scared that this could come up as manipulating, where I tell her, come back, you're about to graduate. If things don't work out and you still want to leave, I'll give them to you. And part of me is like, well, no, she wants to be an adult. She can get those documents herself if she doesn't want to come back. So I'm kind of confused as if I'm being controlling and manipulating, or if I don't even know what I'm supposed to feel right now.
Right. Did she leave? Does she leave with does she have a boyfriend or something?
No, she didn't have a boyfriend. We recently started going to church, and she started changing her behaviors a lot, dramatically. But she was still dealing with a lot of demons herself, mental stuff because of high school and what she's going through with, her friends in school and bullying and all that stuff. And no, she didn't have a boyfriend, but she does have a really good friend, guy, that I think she might be with him. I know where he lives. I just haven't tried driving around because I don't know if I'm supposed to be doing that or not, since she's 18, and maybe I'm stepping over my boundaries if I do that.
And so you say you just recently start going to church, or she did, and then as a result of going to church, she developed bad behavior?
No, she used to have really bad behavior. She was very hard to deal with. Even her dad couldn't handle her whenever he would come and visit. She was just very rebellious. But now that she started going to church, she had been changing drastically. She would listen, and she wouldn't be so always angry about just being told anything. But at the same time, I noticed that the closer she got to God, I feel like the more mental, she was fighting her own demons, like, because she was fighting against her old behaviors, and she was going through something that I could tell was dark.
And you said that this happened as a result of getting closer to God?
Yeah, it was after going to church, I guess, because now she was, instead of just going to accepting her feelings as normal, like whatever she would do before, like being very defensive. Before, you couldn't tell her anything, she would get defensive. Now it's like everything, she would try to fight it and change her behaviors in ways that were just different, pleasing to God, and she would have really good times, but at the same time, sometimes it would kind of come back at her.
Oh, okay.
And fight, like, say, why are you even trying? Like, nothing's going to change. Like, her friends, they would always still try to tempt her. She had to stop talking to almost everyone, and that just made everything so much difficult for her, because she fell into like a depression where she felt very alone. And she even said she felt suicidal because now she couldn't hang around with the old friends, because the old friends weren't good friends to be around. And then at church, she made a bunch of new friends, but then she felt like they didn't really like her. Like, she wasn't fitting in with them either. So she was just going through her own battles mentally.
Right. And so your question for me is what?
I don't know what to do at this point. Like, part of me wants to, I don't know if I'm being manipulative by doing this. she asked me for me to give her her social security and her birth certificate. I'm guessing so she can enroll somewhere else at a different high school closer to wherever she's at. And I want to tell her, like, no, why don't you come back home and just finish you're so close to graduating. If things you still don't feel comfortable being here and you're still going through your things, I'll give you whatever it is that you need, and then you can leave after you graduate. And part of me is like, when she wants to be an adult and leave because she's 18 now, then she can try to go get her those documents herself. So I'm fighting this, not knowing which one to do. If I should just accept that she wants to be gone and give her her things, or let her go through the struggle of, well, you want to be an adult, you get them yourself. You know, like these are things that you have to do as an adult anyways for yourself.
Amazing.
Or if to give her an ultimatum, come back home, and if things don't work out, I'll give you your stuff, and then you can just leave.
Well, the one thing I want to tell you for sure is that your daughter hates you, and all her problems began with you, and she is yearning for her father. She's looking for that emptiness to be fulfilled. She's looking for the love of a father. She's yearning for him. But what I would recommend to you is that you apologize to her for imposing your will upon her, trying to make her be and act the way you thought she should be rather than being an example for her. She hates you for that. So her problems did not start at church or at school. It started at home with you. That's why she doesn't want to be with you, because she hates you. And I would apologize for that. And then for turning her away from her father, I would apologize for that. And then I would start working on myself to overcome evil. I would work on myself. I would recommend you do that. And as for when you apologize for recreating her in your image, because you have done to her exactly what your mother has done to you. And once you apologize for that, if she still doesn't want to come home, I would she's 18, like in Texas you said it's legal. There's nothing else you can do, because you can't make her come back at 18. And if you force her to come back, it's going to be pure hell. She's only going to get worse because she hates you. And unless she forgives you, it wouldn't work if she came back.
So should I just give her... I don't think she hates me about her dad, because she tried living with him.
No, she hates you because you have imposed your will on her. She doesn't hate you about her father. She's yearning for her father, but she hates the fact that you have been imposed your will on her, and now she's become like you.
Okay.
And you said she lived with her father for a while?
Yeah, she tried to live with him, and they didn't get along. He couldn't, because I would always ask him for help, like, help me. I can't do, like, just, you promise you're going to be here for her, and then you always leave, and I know that makes her angry when, you know, we fall for your promises and you do it again, and you've been doing this all her life. And she tried to go live with him, but it didn't even work out a month. And then she still stayed over there with him for a while, but she said she was the most unhappiest because he didn't want to be a father. He didn't like the responsibility or...
Well, I will highly recommend you take your eyes off her father and you take your eyes off of her and look at you. Because if she didn't have problem with you, there's no way she would have ran away in that way. She would have taken off like that. Because she would have love for you instead of hating you. Do you see where you went wrong with her by imposing your will on her?
Yeah, I guess I do.
You don't see it clearly?
I really don't think I was that terrible of a mom.
Yeah, you were.
It was just she's always had a difficult attitude. I would talk to her. She says she hates that I'm always talking to her.
Yeah. She hates that you're trying to control her. And you don't have love either. You only have hate. And when you're trying to control her, especially as a young person, she knew that it was evil, but she was subject to it. Father wasn't there to protect her from it. And now that she started hating you back. As a kid, she's totally rebelling. That's why she's having the suicidal thoughts and everything, because she has your nature now, which is evil. And it's not your nature, but your mother passed it on to you, and her mother passed it on to her. And it just goes on from each generation until somebody decides to forgive.
Yeah. So should I just accept that this is something, or am I going to make it worse because she might end up worse being wherever she's at? Or do I just give her stuff? I don't know what moving forward.
I would do what you want, of course, all right? I would contact her and just let her know, you know what, I've been wrong. I've been imposed my will on you. I have been wrong, and I'm sorry about that. And let her know she can come back home. You want her to come back, and she can freely come back. But if she said, no, I don't want to come back, I'm done, and then I want my birth certificate, I want my ID so I can build my own life, why not give them to her? She's going to go out and get them anyway. Because if you don't give them to her, in her mind, that's another form of control, and she's just going to hate you for that.
Yeah.
What do you think? What do you think about that?
I that's what I wanted to know. I wanted to know by me not giving them to her, because my best friend was like, no, she wants to act like an adult. She can get him herself, and she can see how you've always made her life easy, and maybe now she needs to see that things aren't as easy as she thinks they're going to be on her own. And one of those things is by her having to get him by herself. But at the same time, I was against not knowing if that was the right choice, because I was like, well, isn't that me being manipulative or controlling in a way by just not accepting that's what she wants and just making it easy again and giving it to her?
No, I mean, it's not that difficult to get a Social Security or birth certificate anymore. Again, do what you want and what you think is best. But if you keep them, after you have apologized for recreating her in your image, that you were wrong for imposing your will. That's why she hates you. And she's yearning for her father. I'm sure she doesn't like him as well. But don't point at the father. You point at you, so she can see that you can see that you're wrong, and that might cause her to realize and forgive you. But if you blame the school, if you blame the church, if you blame someone else, it's not going to help the situation at all.
Okay.
And again, once you apologize for what you've done, and if she says, I don't want to come back home, I still don't want to come, I want my birth certificate, I want this, I want to move on, she's going to have to go out now and go through the hell that all adults go through as a result of the trauma in the home. There's nothing you can do about it. You can't make her change.
To just pray about it, just pray for her, just keep praying for her or something? Or
yeah, well, you pray for about wishing her well.
Okay.
Have you forgiven your mother?
No, not the way I know I need to. I'm working on it, but not fully.
Why haven't you forgiven your mother?
I'm not sure if it's me forgiving her. It's more me being actually still afraid. And I know you said that if you're still afraid to face her and say, I forgive you because of what's going to come afterwards, then that means you still haven't forgiven her because you're still afraid to do so. And I don't have the courage to still go and tell her that, because I know what's going to happen after.
What do you think would happen if you went and forgave your mother?
Probably, she'd probably be upset, or I don't know. And I guess I'm afraid she will either get upset or maybe diminish the stuff that she did that were hurtful as a child. Yeah.
Your daughter feel exactly about you the way you feel about your mother. It's the same thing. And the fact that you are afraid of her is anger, which is hatred. But to make it sound easy, anger is hatred. And the only when you have anger, you have fear. When you have fear, you have anger. You overcome anger, you overcome fear. You overcome fear, you overcome anger. You got to face your mother because you couldn't help yourself because your mother recreated you in her image, and you have done exactly to your daughter what your mother have done to you.
Okay.
You got to face your mother in fear and trembling. And that's how we overcome evil, is by facing evil in fear and trembling. And in that is when the love, the light, the power of God save us from that. But you got to be willing to go through the fear and trembling so he can save you from hell, because it's pure hell. And God will save you from it. But you got to face your mother.
So one of the things that how would I react if she just, I know she's always tried, she never, like my daughter, if she tells me I did something, I always try to take accountability for it, and I do apologize to her. But with my mom, it's different. Like, I can tell her something that was hurtful, and she always tries to be a victim, and that discourages me, because I'm like, why do I even try if she's always in this victim mentality? If I do that and she starts doing that, do I just try to not be upset about it, or her just accept that she's broken and that's why she can't see things
Absolutely. And she's playing a game with you. She's playing a emotional game to control you. But don't let her act. She can act like a victim. She can blame your father. She can blame somebody else. She can cry. She can even fall out and die. You still forgive her. Mother, I'm sorry for resenting you for what you've done, impose your will and turn me away from my father and all that. I realize now you can help yourself. I've done the same thing to my daughter, and I didn't want to do that, but I did. And I'm sorry for resenting you. And God will forgive you. Don't ask your mother for forgiveness. God will forgive you. The light will come on, meaning that you'll be able to see from within, and then your whole nature will start to fall apart. That old evil nature that you have, it would disappear. So whatever she does, you let her do it. Don't feel sorry for her. Don't feel happy for her. Don't feel anything. She's just trying to manipulate and control you.
Okay.
She is evil.
Okay.
So that victim thing, mentality that she plays on you, is just another way of controlling you and everybody else around her. Don't fall for it.
Yeah, no. Yeah, she's very good at it, and that's why I try to sometimes stay away from her. But I do know that I have to face her one day, and so I can find that peace.
Yes. And once again, once you understand this clearly, you apologize to your daughter, let her know you have done the same thing to her that her mother has done, your mother done to you, and you're sorry about it. You were wrong. All right. And have you forgiven your father for not protecting you from your mother?
Oh, my dad's my best friend. Yeah, I think when I was younger, I did feel he could have done a lot more when they got divorced. But I started living with him after not that far from when they got divorced, and me and him are like he's like my best friend.
Right on. Well, you need to know your daughter is rebelling in the same way you did with your mother. It's the same thing. It's the same spirit. And has someone told you years ago before you had a daughter, hey, you need to forgive your mother because you become just like her? And if you had done that and you had a daughter or son, you would not have passed that evil spirit onto her.
Yeah.
And in facing yourself, don't blame her father, your daughter's father. Now that you're an adult, don't blame anyone. You got to see that you need to forgive, and you'll be fine. Do the silent prayer, apologize to your daughter, and that's all you can do. You can't make her come back.
Yeah. I'll just do that. I've apologized, and I'm just gonna tell her that if that's what she really thinks is best for her, that she can get her documents.
Yeah.
And I'll just pray for her.
Right.
That
because
she'll be okay.
She only going to see your withhold of the paperwork as another way of trying to control her.
Yeah.
And your friend that told you to keep them away from her, the paper, you got false information. Don't listen to that.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't know when my friend told me that, I didn't feel very sure if that was the right thing, because I felt that maybe I was controlling her by doing that. Like it was a way of control.
Even if you wasn't trying to do it as a way of controlling, your daughter's going to see it that way anyway. She's going to believe, okay, you say you're sorry, then give me the paperwork. Or you say, no, I'm not going to give you that. You need to get your own. She's still going to see it as a way of manipulation, that you're trying to manipulate her. But if you apologize for imposing your will on her, not having patience with her, that it wasn't love and you didn't realize at the time you're doing what your mother has done, and if she still doesn't want to come home and she wants the paperwork, give her the paperwork and let her go out and wish her well. There's nothing you can do about it. Whatever the outcome is for her, there's nothing you can do about it at this point.
Yeah, and that's what scares me, but I guess it's part of accepting that your children are grown.
At 18, they're grown, that's for sure.
Yeah.
What a mess, huh?
Yeah, it is.
What did your father tell you about it?
About her leaving?
Yes.
He's disappointed in her because he tries to talk to her. He helped me raise her, and he's always seen him as her father, and they're very close to each other, and he's disappointed because he tries to talk to her, telling her to, that it wasn't easy raising her alone, and for her to change her ways and stuff like that. And she does listen to him, but I don't know. I guess there's a lot of things that...
Well, it's not her fault that she's that way. It's your fault and her father's fault. It's not her fault. Now, it's her fault as an adult if she doesn't start working on herself to overcome anger. And it's unfortunate your father doesn't understand that, because he doesn't seem to give sound advice either as to how to help her.
Yeah, he tries. He really does, because I know he loves her and he cares for her. He raised her. He helped me raise her, but I guess we're just a mess.
Yeah.
We don't know what's right anymore and what isn't.
Are you doing the silent prayer, my silent prayer?
I just barely found out about your channel a few days ago, and I haven't tried it. I saw your video, but I haven't tried it. I'm scared to try it, to be honest, because part of it, I don't know if it's like meditation, like New Age, and it scares me.
No, it's not meditation. You want to observe. You want to observe the imagination, the thoughts. And you will be, once you forgive your mother, you're going to be separated from the thoughts. And because when your mother traumatized you, you escaped into your imagination trying to survive, and you stayed too long. And now it's time for you to come out of those thoughts. So you don't want to meditate on anything. You don't want to control anything. You just want to be aware of the evil that's inside of your imagination, and the light of God will destroy it. You have a clear mind.
Okay.
No, you don't want to meditate on anything. And you can still do your little hooping and hollering prayer stuff. And then once you're done hooping and hollering, be still and know God.
Yeah, that's something that now that I found this channel right here, the Bond, it's very interesting how I'm learning that your thoughts are not of good.
No.
And I need to fight them off, and I've always suffered from anxiety.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's because of my thoughts. My thoughts are always there to just...
And those thoughts are not your own. You only keep those thoughts alive because you're holding on to anger. You're unwilling to forgive. And because you're unwilling to forgive, God can't help you. He can't draw you in to the light until you're unwilling to forgive, so he can take away Let me know how it goes, all right, Amy?
Thank you. I appreciate it, Jesse.
You're welcome.
Have a good day.
You too.
Bye.
Bye now. 888-7753-773. A quick break. One line open. Back in a moment. We have a counseling service, and I have to admit, thanks to God, it is the best counseling service on this side of heaven. I counsel with men and women, families, individuals around the world. Most people are unhappy, they're miserable, they have rough lives, they're depressed, suicidal, young and old, of all races. I understand, I know why, and I do understand it. Because exactly what's happening in me is happening with everybody outside of me, inside of them. And I've noticed that with those who really, really, really want to understand, they overcome it just like that, out of one counseling session. If you need counseling, you can go to rebuildingtheman.com or call 800-411-2663. 800-411-BOND. Best counseling service on this side of heaven. Welcome back. 888-7753-773. The Hake report is coming up at 9 a.m. this morning from 9 to 11 a.m. The Hake, Hake report.com. And James Hake is on fire. He's on fire. The guy with the good hair. And then at 11 a.m. after the Hake report, Pacific time, 11 a.m., Joel Friday TV. He black. Joel Friday TV. He black. Better known as Arkansas. At 11 a.m. And at 12 noon, the American Anchor Baby. Flying high on energy given to him by God. Did y'all catch his show on the weekend? This past Friday? He learned how to fly. Isn't that amazing? He's wearing a black shirt today? Or Joy Friday? Is it Joy Friday or the Anchor Baby? It's Joy. Oh, Joy Friday wearing a black shirt. What the hell? He black. And so the American Anchor Baby at 12 noon today. You don't want to miss it. All right? Check out all of my books. Amazing books. And I do sign them. Yes, I will sign them for you. From Rage to Responsibility, my first book. The second was the Scam, How the Black Leadership Exploits Black America. The 7 Guaranteed Steps to Spiritual, Family, and Financial Success Guide. A little pocket guide. If you do those 7 steps, you got to do them, though. You just can't read about it. What the? You got to be a doer. Just like working on your life, you got to work on your life. And he that's endure until the end, you get the prize. A little small pocket guide if you want to start a business or you're already in business or have a job and you like to figure out how to make life work. Follow those steps. And last but not least, the antidote, healing America from the poison of hate, blame, and victimhood. It sums everything up. A very, very amazing book. They're all meant to help, to wake you up, to point you back to the source, the kingdom of heaven within. So go to rebuildingtheman.com, rebuildingtheman.com, or call 800-411-BOND, 411-2663 to order, and I will sign it. Let me go to Shantaria. Shantaria out of Texas. Shantaria, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Good morning, Jesse. How are you?
All is well. Thank you for calling.
Oh, thank you. I've called before. I don't know if you remember. I know you said never ask
Never ask a black man if he remembers.
I agree. But this is the girl with the mental health facility in Texas. But I didn't call for that really. But I did. I had a question about destiny.
Right.
I feel like. Where did I start? I feel like I missed an opportunity, a really good opportunity, and lately I've been just thinking about, I guess, destiny, how it all ends in a sense, and I just wanted to see your thoughts and your perspective of destiny, and how do you think that works?
You try to figure out how what ends.
I guess life in a sense, like how do as far as choosing. And as far as things go, how does that work when it comes to?
And why are you trying to figure out the end when you have not discovered the beginning?
That's a good question, Jesse. That's a good question. I guess because again, I felt like I missed a really good opportunity based on me overthinking it.
Like a physical opportunity?
Absolutely, a physical opportunity.
Oh, okay. Well, even in that, don't dwell on it. Don't think on it. Just realize, wow, maybe I should have taken a job. What is that? I should have taken it. But let's say you didn't. Don't think about it anymore because you're getting lost in darkness and you're going to be reliving in your head. When that opportunity situation is gone, that particular one doesn't exist anymore. So don't dwell on it because you're communicating with hell when you do it. You're communicating with the devil.
Makes sense.
It's enough to know that, I should have moved into that house, or I should have taken that job, or I should have done this, but that's enough. Don't dwell on it anymore. And then another opportunity because opportunities are always right at hand, but if you dwell on what you should have done or didn't do, you're going to miss the next one, which is greater than the one you missed.
Makes sense. But and do you feel like that?
So why do you think about the end when you haven't found the beginning?
Just craziness, Jesse.
What?
Me, just being again, like you said, too into the thought.
Yes.
Yeah. That makes a lot of sense, though.
What makes a lot of sense?
What you just said. That you repeat going into hell with the thought.
Yeah.
But and I can definitely see that.
But I can hear a but.
I'm still interested in destiny. How does that work? Like, God knows the beginning and the end. And He's already, I guess, in a sense, predestined everything. So the thing is, do you still win at the end? Is my question.
Win what at what end?
I guess to be pleasing to God. Just you're so funny to me. Your laugh makes me laugh.
Amazing.
But just to be pleased, or like allow God to be pleased with you.
What do you mean by that?
I guess to make it into heaven, to say that you've done well.
How can you allow God to be pleased with you when He's already pleased with you? God's not displeased with you. He's not disappointed in you. He does not judge you. He loves you. And in love, real love, God's love, dispassionate love, there is no disappointment or displeased with or any of that stuff. Why do you think that of Him?
I guess in a sense because, when I do wrong, when I sin, that I feel like I'm displeased. So I guess I feel that God is displeased with me when I sin.
And when have you done wrong?
I can't think about when I've done wrong.
So then why you think God is displeased when you do wrong, when you can't think about when you did wrong?
Again, that's going back to me being in my thoughts.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
You're worshiping the devil.
I know, Jesse.
You love communicating with him.
I can't stand it.
You wake up in the morning, good morning, devil. You want some coffee?
That's terrible.
The only sin that you commit is when you're unwilling to forgive. Salvation's of the heart. And when you're willing to forgive, then God will forgive you and the heart is made new. And then he destroyed that old nature. You have never done anything wrong, Shantaria. You have never sinned. You're not a saint and you're not a sinner. It's just you've been listening in your head, thinking that it was you. It sounds like you, the pain felt like you, and it feels like you, but it's not you. You're communicating with the devil. You're not your thoughts. You're not your body. And you're not your feelings, the good ones or the bad ones or evil. And as soon as you get a hold of that, you'll be free from that slave, from that prison of your imagination.
But Jesse, I feel like I have forgave. I feel like, that's what I feel.
You wouldn't forgive your mother?
My mom is deceased. So I did forgive her in my heart.
Okay.
But my dad is still with me. And we had a conversation when I moved back from when I moved from California to Texas.
Okay.
And it would, of course, my dad's perspective of things is quite different.
Yeah.
So I listened to what he was saying, but he's never able to take on. What am I trying to say? He's not really a person to. I guess he's the victim mentality to think that he's done it all. He did the best that he could do, I guess.
Yeah.
And so, I took that for what it was, and I let go from there. Now, me and my dad, inseparable. So I forgave.
So now you need to watch the thoughts. Stop. Just be present because the light is on inside, and be present of the thoughts and stay conscious of them so you can die from them. The ego die from them, and you'll be fine. All you're doing at this point now is listening to thoughts. That's why it's telling you, you missed that opportunity. What about your destiny? You missed this, and what about that? And you're like, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
You still believe in the lie. Those thoughts are not yours. You got to start observing them, but don't communicate with them at all. Zero.
Makes sense.
Stop communicating with the devil. You don't owe the devil any explanation. You don't need to argue with the devil inside of you in your head or outside of you in other people's head. Two devils arguing. So cut out the argument.
That makes sense. It does. The opportunity that I felt like I missed, it was in the range of like a relationship and marriage. And, I'm very interested in wanting that and, pursuing a relationship. But I don't know, I just get so scared.
You miss the opportunity to get married?
Not to get married, but just to be in a relationship that I thought I wanted, but of course I didn't know if that was for me.
And why do you know if it was for you or not?
Overthinking it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you give it a try?
No.
What? No wonder you worry about your destiny. No, I'm playing. Why do you want a relationship?
When I listen to your perspective about relationships, it makes a lot of sense when you say, I think you said something in the sense of, weak people need relationships.
Yeah.
I remember something like that. And when I think about wanting a relationship, that's what I think of. And I know I don't necessarily need it, but I guess, being in the world, everybody else, in a sense, is, moving on and having a relationship and having children. And
But they're
I
just
want that for
going
myself.
deeper into hell. You want to follow them into hell?
I don't, Jesse.
Well, then
I
you're
don't,
looking
because
at them and you're wishing that you had that, and they're in hell. They're not happy people.
that's true. That's true.
So why
And
do
I-
you
and
want a relationship?
in a sense, I'm looking for a legacy. I want
Who?
to be a legacy.
And that's your cousin?
You're so crazy.
Who is Legacy?
I want to be able to leave, the things that I've accumulated for the next, and I want to be able to share it with the next.
Why?
I don't know.
All for the thrill of it. You want to feel good.
Mm.
That's why you want to do something dumb like that. What the?
You're so crazy. I'm sorry.
Shantara,
Yes.
you're yearning for the wrong things.
Okay.
I
know I am.
You should not want to get married or not want to get married. You should not want a relationship or not want a relationship. You should only seek what is true and what is right. And that's inside of you. And when you find that and look for that and live that, your life will naturally happen and it will be amazing because it's already laid out for you. You just refuse to take it because you're trying to be like and want what everybody else has. You want to, and you're being tempted by evil to follow other people to hell. You should never, ever, ever, as long as you walk this earth, want to be like anyone else or want what anyone else have or don't have. You should simply live your life, and you'll live your life in paradise right here on earth.
You're absolutely right. Yeah, I know you're right, Jesse, and I knew you were going to say this. I just had to hear from you. But Jesse, why am I so? I don't know. Why is marriage such a distant thing to me? And I think it's personally, I believe, just outside, looking outside of myself, that marriage is it's fake. I see it as being fake when I look at the world.
I would highly recommend that all you need to do at this point is pay attention to thoughts.
Yeah.
The depths of living in your imagination is way deeper than what you can imagine.
Yeah.
And if you just focus on that, and you're going to understand why everybody else is doing what they're doing, but you won't want it because now you'll be able to see. But your primary issue is that you're into thoughts. You're still not convinced that they're not you. That all thoughts are all lies all the time. And they are pure, except for practical thoughts, of course. And they are evil. They hate you. They want to destroy you. And that's why they fight hard to keep your attention on them. You're possessed in the imagination and emotions.
You're so right. I know, you're definitely right. Overthinking has always been that thing in the forefront of my life. To overthink everything.
Overthinking is evil.
Yeah.
The intellect is your enemy and not your friend.
Yeah.
And you're trusting it too much.
Yes,
you shouldn't trust it at all, but you're trusting it. Yeah. And that's why you're thinking about destiny and legacy and everything else.
Yeah.
So I got to run, but here's what I recommend. Are you doing the silent prayer every morning, every night?
Not every morning, every night.
I knew it.
The majority of it, Jesse, I've been trying.
Did God say stay aware without ceasing? Or did he say stay aware the majority of the time?
No, without ceasing.
Right, all the time. Because the devil's going to sneak in the moment you fall asleep.
True.
The greatest sin is to forget to be aware.
True.
So
and
go
Jesse, I sleep like a baby when I do it. I mean,
of course,
no issues.
Yeah.
No issues at all.
And when you're awake, you're gonna be awake like a baby, and the Father will take care of you.
Yeah.
I wish you well. Let me know how it goes.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, Jesse. I absolutely love you.
Love you too.
Thank you.
All right.
Bye.
Bye now. Amazing. There's a line open, 888-7753-773. Super Chat.
Super Chats.
Justin gave a Cash App donation to Bond JLP on Cash App, saying, keep up the good work.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thanks for your support.
Kid Combo 1.0 with a diamond. What should a woman do after 3 baby daddies?
Stop having babies. What? No.
Aries 1 with a couple of diamonds, saying, with all thy getting, get understanding.
That's right. Amazing.
WD41 gave a Ninja Guinea. Thanks for the shows and insights.
Stay with it, stay with it, stay with it, and thanks for your support.
Donnie Girl's Idea gave a Rumble rant. Thank you for the silent prayer. I would like to know if what I used to think were confirmations are real. Does God let us know something was all him? Even last week I had an answer to a prayer, says Dawn.
Repeat that.
Thank you for the silent prayer. I would like to know if what I used to think were confirmations are real. Does God let us know something was all him? Even last week, I had an answer to a prayer.
Well, I don't quite understand the question, so I'm going to do a little bit of trying to. God doesn't. Now, I don't quite understand, but God doesn't give you confirmations because he's clear. There's no second thought, or I don't know what you mean by confirmation, so it's hard to respond, but I'll just say God is clear. There's no doubt. There's nothing else to do. It just is. Thank you.
On buymeacoffee.com/JLP Talk, Tom, 3 coffees. My wife watched church last night after I went to sleep. This morning, she asked me, how do I drop all my morals? I quickly responded, don't worry, honey. This one doesn't apply to you. You dropped all those a long time ago. Happy Monday, y'all.
Oh, amazing. Thank you. That's funny.
Canadian comment, Mike, bought 3 coffees. Hi, Jesse. Here's an update on my first day of dropping my morals and values. I started the day by giving everybody the finger at work. When my boss confronted me about it, I slapped him, and now I'm just a useless, unemployed bum. Thank you, Jesse, from the bottom of my heart. Blue heart emoji. Salute emoji.
Amazing. I wish you well.
Derek in Tennessee bought a coffee. I'm doing the same things at 43 that Larry, the 18-year-old, turning 19 soon, is doing at 18. Thanks again for the counseling session, Jesse.
Right
it has
on.
made all the difference.
Stay with it, stay with it, stay with it. It's amazing. Most people don't know God. And I have to admit, I didn't know him either until I woke up and gave up. He's there for you. He got you. But you got to let him get you. Stop saving yourself. Thank you.
Dame 1623, 3 coffees. Jesse, when I do the silent prayer, I often see a lot of images, colors, faces, etc. Is this normal?
It's neither normal nor abnormal. Just watch it. Don't call it good or bad. Don't give it a name. Just watch it. Thank you.
Joey, 3 coffees. Church was so amazing. If I had an afro, it would have blown off, but I'm white and slow.
I am growing back my Amerifro for now. Not an afro, but a Amerifro. Amazing. Thank you.
And thank you, guys. I do believe that that's all for now.
Amazing. Thank you all. Appreciate it. Amazing. Hake is coming in with the hate news, not the fake news. When I come back, your phone calls, straight to your calls. Another hour to go. Back in a moment.
I just want to say thank you for everything that you do. You've absolutely changed my life for the positive, and I just want to thank you. I was 29-year-old beta, living at home with my mom, and just was living in fear and in doubt, and I couldn't hold down a job. And then I found you, and I started listening, and I started just being more at peace. And I forgave my mom, and I forgave my father. And it's like right after that, everything just changed in my life, and I was able to get a good job, and I moved out, and I live on my own now, and everything has just changed. And I just want to say thank you, and I appreciate you for spreading that message. It really is a positive message.
Amazing. That's good, man. I want people to know God love us in ways that there are no words to express, because you have nothing to compare it to, right? Stay with the silent prayer. You haven't seen anything yet. It gets better.
Storms blowing through, and a government shutdown averted, perhaps unfortunately. Trump persecution, a little update on that. Gaza drama too. Plane safety. Ireland has a new young prime minister, and a Nigerian kidnapped kids. They've been returned. This is the end of hour 2 of the Jesse Lee Peterson Show, Monday, March 25th, AD 2024. Have some Hake news, not fake news for you before hour 3 comes of Female Monday. There is one line open. You can call in right now during Hake News, 888-77-JESSE, 1-888-775-3773. After the Jesse Lee Peterson Show, the Hake Report, I'll read what news I didn't get to here over there after the Jesse Lee Peterson Show ends, and cover some other things. Joel Friday TV is coming up right after Hake at 11 a.m. Pacific time today, 1 Central, 2 Eastern, and then American Anchor Baby after that is the plan. You can follow the JLP Radio Network, on YouTube and Instagram, by the way, guys. Severe weather, Commie Nonsense Network. CNN reports millions of people are under winter weather alerts today across the Central Plains and Midwest as a powerful storm threatens widespread disruptions, if it hasn't caused them already, over you guys in the Midwest and Central Plains. Travel could become nearly impossible in some areas, creating icy roadways and whiteout conditions. The National Weather Service said blizzard warnings currently extend from northern Colorado and Kansas into parts of Minnesota, Nebraska, and South Dakota. The storm will move across the Midwest and Great Lakes by Tuesday, so say forecasts. It will then shift to the Northeast, where almost 160,000 homes and businesses are without power today after receiving several feet of snow over the weekend. So you're going to get hit again. Wow. Government shutdown, staying open to evil, unfortunately. The U.S. government. The ladies at the Skim report over the weekend, crooked Joe Biden, the so-called president, signed a $1.2 trillion bipartisan, meaning evil, spending package, funds the government through September. It keeps federal spending about the same level as during the 2023 fiscal year. In other words, out of control. There's a little bit more money in it for security at the southern border, which is doubtful, right? And the Pentagon, no aid for Israel or Ukraine. The new law also bans, get this, U.S. embassies from flying pride flags. That's the LGBTQ radical homosexual flag that Nugget Man always says in my chat, always says that Trump waved around, and shuts down the House Office of Diversity and Inclusion. Wow. That's at this, and Biden signed it into law. Wow. Good for him. Some so-called far-right Republicans aren't happy with the spending deal. GOP gave in to the demon rat demands and doesn't make enough steep cuts. Marjorie Greene filed a motion. She's a Republican from Georgia. I call her a queen facetiously. She filed a motion to vacate House Speaker Mike Johnson, that Republican from Louisiana, giving flashbacks to Kevin McCarthy's ouster, the rhino from California, Bakersfield. The chaos in the lower chamber is likely to continue into November 2024 election. Republicans are fighting to hang on to their extra slim House majority. Republican National Committee Chair Ronna McDaniel made her first appearance on NBC as a political analyst for the network yesterday, sparking criticism. NBC veteran anchor Chuck Todd said that Ronna McDaniel has credibility issues. She's the niece of Mitt Romney, and she's a female who was the head of the RNC till she left. In the hours ahead today, if it hasn't happened already, our greatest president, Donald J. Trump, per CNN, faced a deadline to secure a $464 million bond for the civil fraud trial judgment against him. New York Attorney General Letitia James and her staff supposedly poised to start seizing Trump's assets if he does not secure the money. Or if he did not, I don't know if there's an update on this. Trump's first criminal trial, by the way, was supposed to begin today, but has been postponed until the middle of next month. What a mess. What a mess. And some Gaza drama. I'll have to read to you about the Gaza drama on the Hake report.com right after JLP. But for now, back to the Jesse Lee Peterson Show, Hour 3.
Got to stand up strong, face the truth about themselves, to understand what's been wrong. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way to stand up, stand up.
Uniting the races with truth instead of dividing them with lies. We're also rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. I'm Jesse Lee Peterson. Welcome to the third hour of the show already. There is one line open. You want to get involved there. 888-7753-773. 888-77-JESSE. Jesse. Jesse. No biblical question today. Hopefully tomorrow. We have every way that you can watch and support the show listed on jesseleepeterson.com/show. jesseleepeterson.com/show. And if you're too busy to sit and watch the show as it is happening, you can podcast, of course. But you can be listening live no matter what you're doing, no matter where you are, anywhere in the world, by calling the listen line on TalkStream Live at 641-793-1500. 641-793-1500. Follow us on social media, Jesse Lee Peterson on Instagram and rumble.com/Jesse Lee Peterson. rumble.com/Jesse Lee Peterson. And to donate and have your super chats read out loud, go to buymeacoffee.com/JLP Talk. buymeacoffee.com/JLP Talk. All right. Or rebuildingtheman.com. rebuildingtheman.com. It's Monday. It's the third hour of the show on Monday already. And every Monday is Female Monday.
I like to make men uncomfortable.
All my life I had to fight.
Let women take over.
Some of us believe that women are getting paid less than men.
I proudly say I'm a feminist. Thank you.
Deep in their soul, they want to be home with those babies. We've been lied to for so long.
Amazing. I want to just share this with you. Then I go back to the callers at 888-773-773. 888-77-JESSE. There is one line open. According to a Pew Research, this is mind-blowing to me, but I understand it. The share of young adults living with their parents is higher than any previous measurement. The share of young adults living with their parents is higher than any previous measurements. In July of 2020, 52% of young adults resided with one or both of their parents. Can you imagine that? The share of 18 to 29-year-olds living with their parents have become a majority. May God have mercy on my country. Growing up, that wasn't even a thought that after 18 I would be living with my parents. It just, how will America ever become great again if you're going to stay a baby for the rest of your life? If you're not going to get out there and deal with the issues of life? How would you grow up? How will you mature if you don't deal with the issues of life? It's becoming a majority now. 18 to 29-year-olds living with their parents has become a majority. And I blame the parents because had they raised you in the right way, free-thinking, hard-working person growing up, you'd be fine. You wouldn't be stuck at home with mama. And mama give you all kind of excuses and reasons to stay home. The Hill is reporting that in 2022, 19% of men and 12% of women 25 to 34 years old cohabit with their parents. 19% of men living with their parents. The mother have destroyed them, and the father has allowed it to happen. They have no love for their children. Zero love. Zero love for their children. Men, at 18, you should really start packing your bags and get out on your own and make a life. And life is about, not just about making money. It's about dealing with the issues in life so you can develop into manhood. Staying at home with mama is only destroying you. You're not growing, period. And according to the Hill, in 2022, 19% of men and 12% of women, 25 to 34 years old, cohabit with their parents. More women are leaving home than the men. And y'all don't see something wrong with that? How will my country become stronger? A recent survey found 2/5 of dads believe parents hosting adult children is bad for society, while 12% think it is a good thing. What has happened to the men? Savings. This is from Savings. On an average, parents providing financial support gives $1,384 to their children monthly. Monthly. I can hear my parents now if they even thought I had that idea in my head. Y'all gonna give me $1,384 a month. Boy, what the? That is insane. And now you have adults acting like children. They're acting like they're children. According to the Daily Mail, religious leaders in Boston have demanded that white churches give millions. What the? This is so ridiculous. According to the Daily Mail, religious leaders in Boston have demanded that white churches give millions of dollars in reparations to the city's black community. Watch this from CBS.
We call on the white church in Boston to join us in supporting a black reparations movement.
Standing in solidarity, clergy leaders from across the city of Boston gathered They're here to ask the religious community to atone for Black Boston suffering and support Black reparations.
And we are coming, as Dr. King said,
look at those pitiful people,
to get our check.
Organizers from the Boston People's Reparation Commission say they're also following up on their demand on the city of Boston for a $15 billion initial payout to begin the process towards repair and reconciliation to the city's Black community.
$5 billion as initial payment around cash payouts.
In 2022, the Boston City
They want
Council
money.
and Mayor Michelle Wu offered an official apology for the city's involvement in the transatlantic slave trade. She also launched 2 task force research teams to study Boston's role in slavery and its long impact on descendants.
So we still suffer from the trauma of those instances, and even today, dealing with racism.
Today we call upon this city, its financiers, and its white churches to stop the shirking, stop the lying, tell the truth, and pay what is owed.
Wow. They call it upon white churches, not upon Jesus, but on the churches to give them money. Not on Jesus. And look how pitiful they look. And that little Wu woman, female, need to be sent back to China. I don't know how they ended up voting her in for mayor. They need to send that heifer back to China. Did you ever imagine that someone would be standing in the pulpit and calling up on the white man in the church to give them back, to give them money they never had or owned or don't know what they're talking about? That's the same way it is with those adult children living at home now. They've been spoiled. And white church, y'all don't owe these people a dime. Martin Luther King, where is Martin Luther King now? This is a socialist, communist mentality. What a mess. According to the Daily Mail, the church's names were built in the church's name were built in the 1600s and 1700s, and hundreds of slaves were owned by clergy and parishioners. Slavery been over for 150 years or so, and none of these people know nothing about slavery, but they want some money. They're never going to stop begging until a white man say, no, I ain't giving you nothing. What's wrong with you? Go get a job. Get a job. It's never going to end. They've been spoiled. They're not calling on Jesus. They're calling on the white man. And white people, I told you how strong you are. They call you superior, supremacy. They are calling you God. And yet you're afraid. Jordan is a first-time caller out of Massachusetts. Jordan, thanks for calling. You're on the air.
Hey, Jesse, how's it going?
All is well, sir.
So I'm calling, I want some advice. I'm 34, and I'm just at a point in my life where, I feel lost, I lack leadership qualities, discipline. I'm not great financially. I feel just like a weak man, you know what I mean? So I just want some advice on, what steps I could take to, initiate change or discipline myself more with money and just become an overall better man.
You want to know what steps you take?
Yeah, or
Oh, okay.
I don't know, how to pinpoint, why I feel weak or something, or why I am. I don't want to be a beta male no more, you know?
Number one step to take is to stop trying. Stop trying to be anything. Stop trying to be successful. Stop trying to be a man. Stop trying to be this or that. And stop comparing yourself to anyone and just live your life.
Right.
Go to work. Save a little money, 10% of your money, pay your bills. Don't compare what you have or don't have with anyone. Don't try to be a man. and you will be made to be one naturally when you stop trying to be one. Anyone that's trying to be one can never be one. You have to give up, accept that you can't change anything, and life will happen for you.
Right. Because I feel like I do overthink a lot of stuff, and I feel like that's like a woman mindset. You know what I mean? Just like always ruminating on things that don't matter, or like overthinking stupid things.
Yeah. It's totally your mother's mindset, and because you're angry at her, have not forgiven her, you're living in your imagination just like women do, and you're thinking and feeling and acting like a woman because you have your mother mindset, which is evil.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I don't get along super well with my parents either. Like,
Have you heard me say to forgive them?
yeah.
And have you done that?
I think I started to, like, I don't, like, I understand more of, like, how they have their own trauma and stuff like that, and, like, a lot of that stuff is just them projecting, you know, like, the generational trauma, like, they have had. So it's, like, I'm trying to be more aware of, like, separating myself from that, and, like, sometimes I don't really, like, know what to do because I don't feel like I'm, like, smart enough to, like, separate those things sometimes.
How old are you?
34.
Have you forgiven your parents?
I think so. I mean, I don't, maybe not, like, I don't think I could ever, like, talk to them about any of this.
Have you forgiven your parents?
I don't, maybe not. I don't think so then. I don't.
Have you forgiven your parents?
No.
And why not?
I don't know. I feel like I'm always like I want like a better relationship with them, but like I feel like every time I try, like there's just other issues. So it's like it's hard to even like talk to them or really even like set down some time to even discuss or like pinpoint, you know, certain issues. Like I know there's a lot of shit with my parents that like I do need to forgive them for.
And you are
but
lost.
I don't know how to do that. I don't really know how to do that if I can't really talk to them.
When you say you can't talk to them, they won't talk with you? They won't speak with you?
I mean, they will, but like...
What do you mean you can't talk to them then?
Because I don't feel like they'll like understand or like...
Why do you need them to understand that you're sorry for resenting them? Why do they need to understand that?
I don't know.
But so where you getting this idea, I don't think they will understand.
Right.
I'm sorry?
Oh, I'm sorry, what did you say?
Where are you getting these ideas that I don't think they will understand? If you're going to say, I'm sorry for resenting you guys, why do you need them to understand?
I think just to have more healthy communication or like, because like we don't communicate well.
Why do you need to communicate well in order to apologize for being angry at them? It's all on you. You don't need them to understand it. You don't need them to accept it. You don't need them to apologize or anything. You forgive them, and God will forgive you when you say, hey, I'm sorry for resenting you. Because they have screwed you up. That's why you're lost. And if you want to be found, you got to forgive them.
Right.
And then go live your life. So you can come out of your imagination. You're living in thoughts, and that's why you have, I feel weak, and I feel this, and I feel that, and I feel that. You're living in darkness. All thoughts are all lies. You're living in the darkness of your imagination. You're living in evil. You're living in hell. And you're catching hell right here on earth.
Right. And I'm starting to see that and feel that. And that's why like I'm at a point now where it's like I don't want to be like that anymore. Like I want to be more of a man. I want to be more of a leader for people, and like I want somebody to see me as somebody that like they feel protected by, or like something.
All wrong desires. You need to let all that go, and you just want to be free of your hell that you're living in.
Right.
All that stuff you just named, said you want to be, is all ego. You need to die from the ego, and none of those things is a reason to be free, or a reason to be free. You want to come out of your hell, and your hell is in your imagination because you won't go and forgive your parents for what they've done, your mother for turning you away from your father, and so you're living in hell. It's in your head.
Right. So I'm just, I guess, looking for advice on like how to get out of that mindset.
Go when you see that you have this anger toward your parents, go and forgive your mother for recreating you in her image. She couldn't help it. Her mother did it to her. And forgive your father for not protecting you from your mother. He couldn't help it because he married his mother. He married the woman he hated. And then stop comparing yourself to anyone else, no matter what. Wish everybody well, even your enemy, but don't compare yourself to anyone.
Right.
But and then
that like hinders my confidence as a person too. Like.
Absolutely. Because you're not being you, you're trying to be like someone else. And the people that you want to be like are living in hell. So you're in hell with them. It doesn't matter how much money they have, how many girls they date, how many women they're married to, where they live. They can be owner of the biggest company in the world. They're still living in hell. And here you are comparing yourself to hell.
Right. So I just want to get out of that.
So go and forgive. Do the silent prayer so you can come. The light of the Father will pay attention to what's happening inside of you, and He will bring you out of your hell. That all thoughts are all lies all the time about anything.
Yeah.
But you got to face your mother and father, and don't worry about how they're going to react. You're going there to say, I'm sorry for resenting you, guy. Because everything you feel, they are feeling it too. You know exactly how they're feeling because you're feeling just like them, and they can't help themselves just as you can't help yourself. You don't want to be the way you are. You don't want to have those thoughts, but you can't help it.
Right.
Likewise, they couldn't help but screw you up because that's the way they are.
Right. And, like, I know my dad hasn't, like, he has trauma from his dad, too. And it like...
It's from his mother.
He treats me the same... He has, like, the same relationship with me that he did with his father.
Yeah.
And, like, I see that and I understand that. I don't blame him for it, but...
But you haven't got...
Like...
At the same time, what?
At the same time, like... I don't want that to exist still. Like, I want to learn ways to where I could, like, break that cycle.
Go and forgive him.
Do I forgive them, like, inside myself, or do I physically talk to them about it and say, like, I forgive them for the things that upset me or whatever?
You forgive them within side of yourself and go and forgive them, and God will forgive you.
Right.
Because you become just like them, and if you should make children, you're going to have the same relationship with your children that your father had with you.
Exactly, and I don't want that. I want to be a better person, and I want to be more of a, mature and responsible. And I don't want to have any of that stuff affect me.
Then go and forgive.
Anymore.
Go and forgive.
Yeah.
And do the silent prayer. Are you familiar with the silent prayer?
Maybe.
Go rebuildingtheman.com/prayer. Start doing that.
Oh, right.
Start doing that so you can come out of the light of the Father will bring you out of your imagination. You're not your thoughts. All thoughts are lies. And you don't even know the
Right.
real you at all at this point.
Right.
But you got to go and face your parents first. When you can see that I do have this anger toward them, I am wrong, they can help themselves, then you go and forgive.
Yeah. I guess that is the first step.
That's the only step to be free. There's no other way out but forgiveness.
But how do I know if I've truly forgiven? Like, I could just go over there and say it, you know what I mean? But how do I know that it's like real?
Do you think
Like,
that?
how do I know?
Do you think that you have the right to resent them?
I feel like I shouldn't.
And why shouldn't you?
Because I understand that it's not like their fault. You know what I mean? Like, but it's like I don't think they understand or see the fact that they're causing other, traumas and stuff like that.
Right. They don't see it. Because they saw it, they wouldn't do it. And it's not your responsibility that they should see it. It's your responsibility to see that you can't see, or now you started to see and go and forgive.
Right.
You don't need them to see. You got to live your life now and let them stay in their hell. Most people love their hell, so leave them in hell.
Yeah. I don't like my hell.
Then go and forgive them.
Right.
And you'll come out, you'll start to die away from the imagination, and your nature will change. But your heart going to change first when you forgive, and you'll be free at heart. And then you will let go and let life happen and not compare yourself to anyone. You'll just be you.
Right. That makes sense.
And don't let the enemy, which is of your imagination, talk you out of forgiving them. You got to go and forgive so you can be free.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you, Jesse.
Let me know how it goes.
Can I say something else real quick?
Yes.
I heard you recently talking about the Boston mayor.
Yes.
I live in Boston, and we all hate her.
Why don't they ship her back to China? She has no business being a part of the American government anyway.
I don't know. She threw a corporate party and banned all white people from it.
I remember that. We reported that here.
Yeah.
What a
Nobody
mess.
likes her over here.
Well, y'all vote her out of there and send her back to China.
Let's hope so.
All right, Jordan. Thanks, man. Let me hear from know how it goes, all right?
Thank you, Jesse.
All
You're
right.
amazing.
Amazing. Thank you, buddy.
Bye.
Bye. Amazing. Let me go to, let me see here. There's one line open, 888-7753-773. Alex, been waiting for a long time. First time caller out of California. Alex, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hey, Jesse. It's good to speak with you.
Thank you. Thank you for holding on so long, man.
Hey, Jesse. So I've just been struggling, going on and off doing the silent prayer and trying to get out of the fallen state. So I'm wondering how you best recommend to do that.
Stop trying and just watch. You can't bring yourself out of it at all. You just need to observe the thoughts because you're unconscious and you want to be conscious. You want to be present, not in the past or the future, which doesn't exist. You want to be present. You want to be conscious. So stop trying to, you can't change it. Just be aware of the thoughts.
Okay.
And then if you go in and out 1,000 times, just come back to your body. Your body is always present, right? Become aware of your body. and you're back present. And just stay with that, and eventually it'll get easier and easier and easier.
Thank you.
You're welcome, buddy. Let me know how it goes.
I will.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.
The treasure chest is now open on D-Live. A quick break. When I come back, the rest of you back to your calls and your super chats. Back in a moment. Folks, amazing. Let me just say this. What you want is consciousness. You want to become unconscious. Really. You want to be present. You want to become unconscious. So a quick announcement, the Hake Report is coming up at the top of this hour. TheHakeReport.com from 9 to 11 a.m. Pacific time. And James Hake is on fire. The guy with the good hair, Monday through Friday, from 9 to 11 a.m. Pacific time. And after the Hake Report, Joel Friday TV. You bet. Joel Friday TV. And better known as Arkansas, not Arkansas, but Arkansas. And after Joel Friday TV, the American Anchor Baby. The American Anchor Baby. Amazing. From at 12 noon. Energy given to him by God. And two quick things. We have the best counseling service on this side of heaven. The best. And if you want counseling, need counseling, family, individuals, or whatever, go to, by phone, Skype, or walk-in. Go to rebuildingtheman.com, rebuildingtheman.com, or call 800-411-BOND, 800-411-2663 to make an appointment. And also for personalized shout-outs, I do those as well for you. Personal shout-outs. Go to Cameo, cameo.com/Jesse Lee Peterson, cameo.com/Jesse Lee Peterson. No matter what the occasion, birthday, weddings, funerals, congratulations, encouragement, whatever. Cameo, cameo.com/Jesse Lee Peterson. Let me go to Melissa out of Ohio. Melissa, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hi, Jesse.
Hey.
I just wanted to tell you about this thing that happened last week, and about your thoughts.
Uh-huh.
I was watching this thing on YouTube about this woman that was horribly abused as a child, and there was this thought in my mind that got turned on by it, and immediately I'm like, this is not my thought, and it just as soon as I'm like, as I recognized it was not my thought, gone.
Yep. Absolutely.
It was just so weird.
Because you didn't identify with it. You didn't take on another identity. And the problem with all of us, the reason we suffer for so long and unnecessarily, is because we have taken on thoughts. We have taken on all kinds of identities, and then we call them our own. We call them ourselves. And not knowing that we were taking on evil and that they were false identities. So right on. And eventually you won't even have to say, this is not my thought. Eventually it just won't be. You know that it's not.
Yeah, it was just it's so weird how fast that thought escaped. It seemed like it ran away from me in fear. And I noticed, I'm like, this is not my thought.
Yeah. It ran away from the light that was shining on it. The dark spirits cannot handle the light. Amazing, Melissa. Stay with it.
That makes sense.
Yeah, 100%. Stay with it. Stay with it. Stay with it.
Yeah. Thanks for pointing that out.
Yeah.
I really appreciate it. Love you, Jesse.
Love you too. God bless you.
You too.
All right. Bye now. 888-7753-773. Asia there's one line open. Asia out of New York. Asia, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hey, Jesse, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, so I'm calling because I spoke to you multiple times, but basically, I'm working right now. I just received a promotion and everything, and my husband is, like, upset about it. Like, he doesn't want me to work so much. He doesn't want me to work at all, really, but if I did decide to work, he doesn't want me to work that much. But he can't cover all the bills himself. So I don't want that stress on him to try to...
There's noise. You're making noise in the background. You washing dishes?
No, actually, I'm outside. I'm at work, so I just had to step outside so I can make the call.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
Yeah, so he can't afford to pay all the bills on his own. So I was like, this is a good thing. I got a raise, and, like, I like to work. And then it's like, not only am I working, I'm also, like, adding extra stuff because, like, I want to get into acting. So I'll be doing, like, extra work and stuff like that, like background work. And he's like, you're spending all of this time outside of the home, but we need you home. But I'm like, I'm just trying to, like, get the money so we can have a foundation because we're trying to move. So basically my question is, like, should I just, like, throw everything away and listen to my husband, knowing that he can't take care of the bills on his own?
Do you have children?
Or, like, yeah, I have children, but he doesn't.
Oh, how many children do you have?
I have two. Only one lives with me. My daughter lives with her dad.
Oh. And so you want to know, what's your question again?
My question is basically, like, should I listen to him? Because, like, it's hard to listen to him when it comes to this because I just don't trust that he'll take care of me. Even if he did have the money, I don't think I could put all my trust into that because, like, men like to control you when you're not making any money, or, like, they like to, like, because when he gets mad at me or something like that, he'll turn my phone off because he pays the phone bill. So with that being said, like, if I do something that he doesn't like, he can easily, like, cut off my lifeline, basically, like. So should I listen to him? I don't think I should.
How long you been married?
We've been married. It's going on a year in June.
So why did you get married knowing that, you wasn't going to give up your job. You want to get into acting. You don't want some guy controlling you. Why did you get married?
Because like I thought it would look different. Basically, we spoke about these things, and like the plan was for me to become a stay-at-home wife, but it's not as easy as it sounds. So I'm just like, there's other stuff that I want to do. Like, yeah, I do want to be a housewife if I knew that I would be secure. But it's like he doesn't make me feel like he would take care of me wholly. So.
And did you tell him that?
Yes.
And what did he say?
He said, I'm listening to my father.
Your father, the devil?
Yeah.
Oh, are you?
Part of me, yes, I do believe I am because of I'm operating out of fear, like as like, you know, he might not take care of me, but it's like he's taking care of me now, but it's I don't know, I can't explain it. It's just so much.
But you're listening to evil. Why are you doing that, period, knowing that it's confusing you when he's saying that everything's going to be fine?
Yeah, because like one time I was like, before we got married, I was behind in my rent, and I let him know that I was behind in my rent. Like I was letting him know I needed a little help, and he decided not to help me. He actually spent that money on another woman. So like with that, I don't know.
This was before you got married?
Yeah.
And so you were living separate from him when you asked for the help on the rent?
Yeah.
And so you still got married. I don't understand that.
I still got married because like he said that he wouldn't do that again, but I don't know.
Do you love him?
I'm confused. Yeah, I love him. We just had a counseling session with you like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago.
Oh, you did? And
yeah.
And you're still letting this bother you?
Yeah, because we didn't get to speak to you about the working situation, but I just don't know what to do because, like, I want to listen to him, and I feel like if I don't, like, he's going to be out of here because he's, like, he didn't sign up for, like, a career woman and stuff like that.
Right.
So I feel like if I don't listen, he'll be out of here, but then I'm like, if I do listen, it's going to still be hell because all the weight is going to be on him. That's going to be too much, and he's going to, like, be super mean and, like, I don't know.
Should when you ask for...
I am not toxic, chat.
What?
I'm sorry. I was talking to the chat because they said that I was toxic, but I'm not.
Should he have helped you pay your rent before you got married when you asked? Was he wrong for not helping you?
I feel like if he didn't have it, then he wouldn't have been wrong, but he had it and chose to do something else with it. So I feel like that was wrong.
Amazing. You know, I can't answer that. I would need to speak to both of you at the same time. Is that possible?
Yes.
Okay, set up an appointment where I can talk to you both at the same time.
Well, we're both off tomorrow, so maybe we can call in tomorrow.
Okay. Do that, and then that way I can be fair because I need to hear his side as well.
Okay, cool. That sounds good.
Okay. I wish you well.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Jesse. Bye-bye.
Bye. You're welcome. 888-77-53773. There's one line open. Gilbert, a first-time caller out of Texas. Gilbert, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Good afternoon. Good morning, Mr. Peterson. How are you, sir?
All is well, Gilbert. Thanks for calling.
Yes. Thank you so much for everything you do. I discovered you about maybe 3 or 4 months ago, and it's been an amazing journey since that time, and I've made huge strides in my personal life and in my my understanding of the battle going on. You know, so
Nice.
I just want to thank you for that.
Stay with it. Stay with it. Stay with it.
I will. I've been not doing the silent prayer every morning and night, but I need to get there. But I've definitely done it, and it's helped out a lot. But I wanted to comment. This past week, I know you were talking about the animal thing and the dogs and the way things are going. And here in Austin, we have an epidemic of women with dogs now, and it seems like every woman and their mother has a dog, and they're everywhere.
Yeah.
And yesterday I was with a friend, and we went to a place to have lunch, and they had a little area where they had people selling stuff and, you know, all kind of new age stuff. And there was a lady doing dog readings, like the way people go and get like psychic readings.
Uh-huh.
And there was a lady doing dog readings. And I couldn't believe it. I took a picture of it, and she had people waiting to talk to her. And the sign said, "Dog pet does not need to be present." You know, and it said, yeah.
She would do like psychic dog reading?
Yeah. It was like emotional well-being, healing readings for your pet. You know, and I couldn't believe it. It was like a whole nother level to the thing. And I took a picture of it. If y'all have an email, I can send it to y'all, or I can text it to somebody. But
send it to producer at JesseLeePeterson.com.
Say that again. What is it?
Producer at JesseLeePeterson.com.
Okay, I'll shoot that over here when we're done talking. But yeah, it was amazing.
And people were paying for it?
Yeah. And she had a booth there and a sign, and she had a lady there, and I just couldn't believe it. I was blown away. I thought it was a joke at first, but it was serious. You know?
Who let the dogs out? Money-making thing, huh?
And you know, you're absolutely right about the animal nature that's coming out in people, and it seems that people are. I believe I said this several months ago. I believe in the near future we're going to have people trying to change the law to marry their animals, marry their dogs. You know,
I wouldn't be surprised if they're not already working on that.
Exactly. So I just wanted to comment on that. I have a lot I'd love to talk to you about. I don't want to take up too much time. I know you probably got other callers waiting, but I wanted to take a moment to comment on that, and I just wanted to thank you again for everything you're doing, man. Like you're really doing a great work, and it's spreading wide and far. And I've been sharing your work with people around me, and I listen to you when you say, don't go around telling people you've woken up, and don't share that. So I've been very careful about that, but I definitely have been sharing your message, and I just want to thank you.
You're right on. Stay with us. Stay with us. Stay with us. Yeah, don't go preaching at people at all, because human beings are in an animal state, and their hearts are evil, and they'll try to destroy that. The evil in them will try to destroy the light that's on in you. They won't wish you well. They will try to destroy it.
Yes, some of my closest friends, you know, since I got on board with a lot of your work, they've left me, you know, and like some of the people that were like my closest people, they couldn't deal with it anymore, you know, and it was but it don't bother me. You know,
Good.
I get it.
Because they were fake. It was never real anyway. It was always pretense.
Absolutely, I realize that. Yeah. And then the ones that are the realists, they're the ones that are sticking closer, and they're understanding, you know.
Yes,
so.
Absolutely. Amazing. Gilbert, stay with it, and send me the picture. That is amazing.
I will. I'm going to send it right now. Producer at JesseLeePeterson.com. Correct?
Yes, absolutely.
All right. And I'm going to come out to L.A. and see you soon. I've been meaning to come out. I want to come to a church service. So I'll reintroduce myself. Gilbert from Austin, Texas.
Right on. Thank you, man.
All right, brother.
All right, buddy.
Yes, sir.
All right.
All right. God bless.
You too. Amazing. Don't compare yourself. Can you, Hassan, you ever took your daughter to a psychic? They probably need one at this point. Your dog.
Don't give me any ideas.
I know. Well, I can see you down up there in Hollywood right now. Somewhere with your dog at a psychic reading thing, and the dog like, what the? Amazing. Super chat.
Super chats.
Superman's daddy bought a coffee. Jesse, you and the caller Larry are so correct from the first hour.
Yes. From Indiana.
Yeah, 18. I remember when I received the honor of going out and raising the flag and pulling it down, and I also remember folding it properly and never letting it touch the ground. That used to be a privilege you earned because of leading the class in good behavior, grades, and attendance.
Yeah.
Bring back my country to me. Thank you, Superman's daddy, with the
Thank
coffee.
you. Yeah, thank you. Absolutely. Dude, I remember that. Pledge allegiance to the flag and praying in class every morning. Everything stopped. And we would get up, we would say the prayer, Our Father, which art in heaven, and then we would pledge allegiance to the flag and class would begin. Amazing. Thank you.
Also on Buy Me a Coffee, Ryan B. bought 3 David's Bridal feet washers. If he/she need a symbol for being humble, is that humble? Jesse, awesome Fallen State episode this past week. Don't know white people can be racist, but black people cannot. Didn't know that. Very ooh la la, mamma mia, interesting.
Check out all of the Fallen State episode, but especially last Friday, brand new episode on the fallenstate.tv. It was mind-blowing. Amazing. Thank you.
She was black, supposedly.
She was black, but
white looking as can be.
That's why I asked. Was the mailman white?
Hannes O'Callahan bought a coffee. I'm happy to say I've long done the assignment already. I tried to assign values and morals to myself, even if just 1 or 2. Almost immediately broke them or ended up in a situation where I couldn't resist. Giving yourself morals makes you a gigantic lighthouse for kamikaze pilots to target and destroy you. I quit giving myself morals and principles, even though I'm aware of them. I would ideally like to follow them. And I started following principles and morals naturally without me thinking about them, he said.
Amazing. That's the assignment for the week. Drop your morals and values and see what happens. Amazing.
Prep Ham
Thank
Paul, Rumble monthly supporter subscriber.
Thank you.
Less than 1% of Americans own slaves, but they want white Americans to pay for slavery. Insanity. Greed is evil.
It's made they're asking the churches in Boston, I believe in Boston, give them all that money. What the? The churches should give them the finger. What a mess. Thank you.
And shout out to the top contributors over on DLive.tv, Jesse Lee Peterson, WD41, Coffee Talk with Sandra, Aries 1, Kid Combo 1.0, Evgeny Crosby, and the rest of the supporters. Shout out to you guys. And thanks, guys. That's all for now.
Thank you all. Amazing. Let me go quickly to Rick out of Hampton, Virginia. Rick, welcome to the show. You're on the air. Thank you all for your super chats.
What's up, Jess? What's going on, my brother?
All is well, Rick. Thanks for your call.
Great church. You know what? I didn't catch the answer for the Bible question of the week for last week.
Do you have morals and values? You didn't catch the answer to that one yesterday, you saying?
No, I didn't get that. I watched most of the church service, but I didn't catch the answer to the biblical question from last week.
I didn't give the answer. What I did was we started on it, and then so I just told the people, let's make this an assignment for this week. And I told everyone I suggested as the assignment to drop your morals and values. Hold on, buddy. Hold on. Your phone is all bad and scratchy.
What the?
Hold on. Let me go to Russ out of New Jersey in the meantime. Russ, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hi, Jesse. How you doing?
All is well. A little louder, Russ?
Yes.
Okay.
You hear me better?
I can. Go ahead.
I have some questions. Basically, I've been living probably most of a life, going through life, but a lot of times life just becomes so stressful, and I hear a lot of your people that call in asking you to tell them how to do it. I don't know if this is the right way to do it or not, but what I usually do is I just go for a walk out in the woods, and I just become like part of the woods, and I realize how small I really am and how I need, guidance. And nature seems to be able to show me the beauty, be able to show me the destruction, be able to show me the way animals, relate.
But nature is not going to save you from your hell.
Okay. I realize that. I realize that, and I've been working on myself a lot. So I'm going to continue to do that. But I wanted to relate.
All you need to do is, there's nothing wrong with taking a walk, of course, but all you need to do, you got to become conscious of the not you. You got to be present. And that's the only thing that's going to save you from the hell. And the only thing walking through nature is going to do is give you a temporarily false feeling of salvation.
But I was using nature as a tool to crush my ego.
No, that ain't going to work at all. The only thing that can crush your ego, destroy that nature, is the light of the Father, the love, the truth of God inside of you.
Okay.
Thank you, Russ. I appreciate it, buddy. I was trying to get back to you, Rick, but the time is up. Your phone was messed up. What? Call me tomorrow, Rick from Virginia, and also Tony from Pennsylvania. The calls that are coming in, I'm out of time. Get on that straight and narrow, folks. You will not regret it, especially if you get there and stay there. No matter what, endure, and let the false self disappear. When the false self disappear, the real you will appear. It ain't nothing like what you thought. Zero. It's nothing like what you thought. All right? So do the silent prayer. Go and forgive your mothers and your father, but especially the mother and especially the father. There's no way around it. If you want to have peace, there's no such thing as racism, sexism, homophobia-ism, Allahu-Akbar-ism, Debbie Dad-ism, white supremacism, anti-Semitism. No ism. It's a battle between good and evil. I am out of time. The Hake Report is coming up now. The Hake Report.com. And after the Hake, join Friday TV. You black. And then the American Anchor Baby. Energy given to him by God. All right, folks. Thank you. Work on yourself or stay in your hell. Take care. Amazing.
Boy, you better stand up, man up. Put your hand up and hut. Cause if we don't, then we lose, and then we gotta hear the fake news. Whoa. You must know that so you get something went wrong, but face the truth about yourself and just seek first God's kingdom, cause
So, here's what I recommend. I invite you to download my silent prayer, and I want you to start doing it. You just download it, get the points of how to do it, and then after a while, you just do it on your own. It's going to point you in the right direction that your life will be returned to you from God. He will give you your life back, because anyone and all people who has anger, they're not themselves. You are the person that you are angry at. That's why it's so important to get to know yourself so that you can see who you're angry at. And if you're doing the hooping and hollering prayers and things like that, some people get up, oh, praise the Lord, hoop and holler, bless my mama, bless my daddy. Continue to do it. Do both. You will see if you want to stay with the hooping and hollering, or do you want to be still and know God. So my gift to you, no charge, at rebuildingtheman.com/church. Anytime you have situations happening in your life, always be still. Don't overreact. Most of the people that I know, they say, "Oh, I know Jesus. I love Jesus. I'm an observer." And as soon as something don't go their way, they get mad. I'm like, what the? If you overreact, folks, remember to do that. Don't overreact. And when you get mad, it's your problem. It ain't your wife's problem, your husband's problem, your neighbor, your friend, your preacher, your teacher. It's your problem. Why you think you tick? It didn't go your way or the way you think it should go. Don't have a way you think it should go. Let life just happen. Thoughts make you think that life should go the way you want it to go. And if it doesn't, if someone don't do or say or act the way you think they should act, you hate them. And then you blame them for being mad. It's the darndest thing I ever seen. But it's amazing to see it. So relax.